Hey, hi, hello, and good afternoon. My name is Amanda, and welcome to Harmony Portal Tarot Live. How is everyone this fine Woo-Woo Wednesday? It's officially eclipse season. Can you feel it? So many crazy things going on. So many crazy things, but good news. Good news is today, my favorite band dropped a new single off the new album that is yet to be released, but I couldn't believe it. It blew me away. The song was good, not the best of their, songs and their discography, I guess we could call it. But it's what are the kids saying these days? A banger, a bop, all the fun things. But it was the subject matter and literally some of the lyrics that just completely blew my mind because there's a scene at the midpoint-ish part of book one in my young adult spiritual / paranormal series that I'm currently writing, that like the music video itself, I'm like, he's in my head. Like Tyler Joseph, the lead singer of 21 Pilots, is in my head because he writes all their songs. Because between 2016 and 2018, but mostly in 2018, I wrote book one of my series. And yes, it's still not released yet, so don't go looking for it. For those that are new, but there's a line or two, and even like referring to feeling like suffocating, pressure on chest, can't feel my legs, rolling down a window. All of these things in various parts of the lyrics are in this scene. And I know that could be sounding random or what have you, but I will just read just a tiny snippet, and then we're going to get into our little talk. I don't know what we want to call these talks. Anyone have any good ideas for what we could call these little nuggets of, I don't know, wisdom or tips, hot tips and tricks that I'm letting you guys know about? But let me see. Oops, wrong thing that I wrote. Okay. So the new song is called Next Semester. And Tyler's lyrics of Next Semester say, "Hey kid, get out of the road." And in my I can't remember what chapter number it is in. Let's see. Can I find out here? Oh, I just have the chapters cut off on my little screenshot of my Scrivener document. Oops, I didn't want to say I'm finished looking at the photo. Let me see it. Okay. So spoilers for those that want them or don't. But yeah, so it's, midpoint-ish of my book. But let's see. So I'll just read the paragraph or two that this is in. So tires squealed to a stop, mere feet from me. The driver laid on the horn. I turned, steadying myself on the hood. "What the hell, kid? Get out of the road!" the lady screamed at me from her open window. And his was, "Hey, kid, get out of the road." Mine are, "What the hell, kid? Get out of the road." But even like the scene, like when he's in the road, and then especially at the very end when the camera's kind of panning around and there's all those people around, again, drawing from something that happens in the same scene in my book. I swear to God, he has been, what's the word? Like remote viewing my writing? I don't know. If I had actually published this book first, I would swear up and down that Tyler Joseph had read it and then used pieces of it for this music video and lyrics. I was like, what is happening right now? It was so surreal to actually see. Of course, my main character is a female, a 13-year-old female at that. But in that scene, I think she had turned 14 by then. Scratch that. She's a 14-year-old female in that scene. And he's a 30-some-year-old man in the scene. But yeah, the parallels were just uncanny, and I'm still like shook, as the kids say. Tanya's here. Hi, Tanya. Hi, Tanya. My cousin Tanya's here, everybody. Okay, let's see. She's the only person I see. We've got a handful of people here, 6 people, but no one said hi. Don't make me talk to myself. I'm just kidding. And it is a little warm in here. Not that it's hot outside really, but like in the car it was warm, and just like upstairs it's a little warm just from the sun today, I guess. I don't know. It wasn't like that sunny. Now it's totally overcast. But yeah, we'll warm up here. So probably be taking off my sweatshirt, but anywho, banana ass. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I even told like the clique group, as they're called, the skeleton clique is like the fan base for 21 Pilots. I'm like, tell me I'm not like reaching here. I mean, some of the words are exact and some other things. And they did announce their world tour today, starting in North America, and wah, 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 cries. They're nowhere near me. Seattle's probably the closest, followed by Portland, followed by Salt Lake / also Denver. They're all kind of within this radius of me, but not close enough with my dogs and just, you know, everything going on that I can't justify going that far again. We went to Denver during the Scaled and Icy tour in 2021. Yeah, September 15th, 2021 was that concert. And then we also went to Boise, just my husband and I. We took the kids last time. My husband and I went to Boise in, oh gosh, now I really got to think, 2018 for the Trench tour, which for some Bandito tour. I'm like, for some reason I'm blanking on the name of the Trench tour, Bandito tour. Yeah, I'm still like, wow. But yeah, weird things going on out there, out and about. And once again, I did not find this news out because I'm sitting there trying to find it. It found me, and then more news found me. But it's really weird. First and foremost, the Kate Middleton stuff that I tried to not pay any attention to, again, still found me. And she was, you know, presented to the world again on a video that looked very AI, I might add. If you like watch her hands, her ring disappears and all sorts of craziness. I know AI has trouble with hands, so I was trying to watch the hands in the video. Not that I watched the whole video, I just kind of took a glance at it because I'm like, huh, okay. So allegedly, or, you know, the news they're giving us is she's got cancer, and that's where she's been. And if she really does, my heart goes out to her. But if this is just some big AI false flag, I don't really want to say the words because trigger, algorithm. Bots coming out to play, trolls coming out. But yeah, anyway, that happened, that weirdness, since this eclipse. Well, I think that happened right before the lunar eclipse. And then, again, days, what are days? I don't know. I think it was yesterday, maybe in the evening before yesterday. So the like early hours of the 26th, which was yesterday, that bridge being hit in Maryland, was it? I can't remember. Francis Scott Key Bridge being hit. All sorts of crazy parallels because I guess the shipping container ship that hit that was called the Dali, named after Salvador Dali, which just the symbolism when you look into that. He has a painting, something about a bridge. I can't remember the name of it though. But like dots being connected, and I'm like, what is happening? The symbolism is really in our face. It's very blatant. You don't have to even stretch or reach too much right now. Things are just like on the nose. Like you can't miss them unless you're completely have your head buried in the sand or living under a rock. That's the only way you're gonna miss the sign symbols and whatever the clown show Matrix is playing or putting on for us at this time. It's very, we can't have you miss what we're doing, which I still don't know exactly what they're doing, but I think this is kind of telling that Francis Scott, I think that was the name of the guy, same as the bridge, but it was the guy that wrote the national anthem. And there was some other things that were like parallels, and it's not a coincidence. We'll just put it that way. It wasn't a coincidence, and they're calling this the Great American Eclipse. And, you know, I'm hearing the song as I'm reading about this bridge. Not that I, again, read too much into it, but I'm, you know, reading, you know, intuitively about it. I just kept hearing the, like, children's song, London Bridge is Falling Down. And, yeah. Isn't there, hey, in that song, isn't there even a lyric like, take the key and lock her up, and Francis Scott Key Bridge? Just all coming to me right now. Interesting. I don't know what it is they're playing at. Probably just a, hey, everybody, look over here because we don't want you to see what we're doing over here. Yeah, just crazy. Who knows? But anyway, I'm just going to shuffle the cards. We're not going to get into the reading quite yet. I'm going to tell you the little epiphany I had on thoughts. Yeah, Cosmic Circus. Hi, John. Welcome, welcome. It sure is. And, you know, bread and circuses, you know, that's what they did in the Roman times. That's what they're, I mean, if the playbook works, keep throwing it at them, right? Like, that's what they're doing. And it seems to be working for some people. I mean, at least to a point. There's a lot of people still, you know, under the mind control haze of, let me just watch what they tell me to watch. Let me do what they tell me to do. Let me do what they tell me to do. Make me do what they tell me to do, whatever. And then there are those of us that are like, wait a second, this is just too weird, too coincidental. And I personally don't believe in coincidences because I know how this matrix is programmed. Well, at least feeling into the energy of it, I can tell how programmed and statistical everything is, and just pre-programmed. I don't know the right words. Words are hard, even for writers, and especially maybe for writers. They're hard. But anyway, the thought I had on thoughts, well, it was more of a knowing and an intuition that I then rose up to the brain to have that thought on thoughts. And it all stemmed from, I was making candles, just minding my own business from the matrix, not trying to hurt anyone or call anyone out, or I was just in a creative flow state. And that's normally a safe space for me, a creative flow state. I mean, maybe I am letting my thoughts wander to things that I know I need to do, or, oh, I could try this kind of candle next, or, you know, creative flow process, creative flow state. But here I am creating my candle, just minding my own creative flow business, and bombard these really dark thoughts about how I'm going to create this candle and then I'm going to light it and my whole house is going to burn down. Well, you know, coming from someone whose childhood home did burn, it was gutted and burned down. But then in 2019, it did burn down. My mom was living there at the time. She got out in time with her dogs, thank goodness. But it's like, maybe that's why it was in my, you know, awareness. And I thought that. But then another one hits me again, you know, again with the fire. And, oh, you know, you might as well just stop making these, you know, spell candles now, because it's just gonna, you know, it's dangerous. You're playing with fire, you know. And none of these thoughts felt like my own, and they were really dark. Like, I could completely envision the scene of a big fire and me trying to get my kids and dogs and family out of the house, and completely unneeded, completely unnecessary. But I, you know, I heard in the thought process that was not mine, you're playing with fire. And then I felt my own spirit like rise up in me from deep down in my womb space. Like, that's where I felt it come up from. And let me see if I can word this properly. Like, because it's like when I was sick, I started envisioning this, like, I can't remember what I was calling it to my mom. It was like the divine, oh gosh. I already forgot what I was calling it, but it was good. But it's basically this big, well, it's not that big. It's kind of a, I don't know. First think of this. It's like a, you know, little trash can that's kind of, it's always on my, like, kind of down by my legs on the right side when I envision it in my, you know, workings and healings and peelings, as I'm now calling them. I love that. So it's basically a divine trash can of fire that recycles whatever I toss into it back to the original source creator. That's how I'm wording it. So all the, you know, AI implants and cords and hooks and barbs and thought forms and entities that I'm cleaning out of my field, out of, you know, here and there and everywhere, and for people that I do healing stuff for, I'm throwing them into this big spiritual trash can fire. And when yes, I am playing with fire, literally divine fire in this garbage can. And when that thought told me, hey, you're playing with fire, again, my spirit rose up and was like, darn right I am. And I took those thoughts, like I envisioned those thoughts, me peeling them and their sticky black goo that they're made out of or consist of, and threw them into the eternal divine trash can of divine fire, recycled back to source. And then later that night, I had another thought. I can't even remember exactly what it was, but it was a negative thought, you know, nothing too crazy like earlier. And I'm just like, no, you know what? away you go. And I threw that thought into the fire. And I've been doing that. I'm not 100% consistent with it because it takes work. I mean, you have to be literally on it because you have, I don't know, upwards of, I don't know the estimate. Let me Google it. Not that that's the correct answer, but just for S and G's, let's for ish and giggles, let's Google how many thoughts does a person have a day? And I do apologize, you guys. I never script these live streams. I just kind of fly. I sometimes have an idea of what I want to talk about, and then I kind of fly by the seat of my pants, and that's just kind of how I roll. You'd think as a writer, I would script these out and at least have talking points that I want to hit and not miss. And I probably should do that, but I apologize if it feels very all over the place. Let's see. How many thoughts? Let's see. Okay, so I did hear at one point like 65,000 thoughts a day, and this one says 70,000 thoughts. Again, it's probably varies, but to think, even if we go on the low end and say, I don't know, 20,000 thoughts a day, that's a lot of thinking. That's a lot of, I mean, think of a computer that's just constantly, crunching numbers or, processing. After a while, that poor computer needs a break. It needs to turn off for the day because you hear that fan in there just a whirring, and it's like, is this thing going to blow up on me? But yet our brains are doing this constantly. And there's even brain activity while we're sleeping. So it's like, wow, there's a lot going on. Some of it's us, most of it's not. But it's like, it's just a lot. And we are that observer of the thoughts. That is who I truly believe myself to be. And yes, I can use my own brain as a tool, just like I will use the tarot as a tool to divine the knowledge and wisdom I need to make the best choices for myself, or to, use it to think creatively. And a lot of times, though, if you think about it, it's just a word we just use without even thinking about it. Think. Thought. It's over. It's everywhere. It's all over there. But anyway, it's like when we have this creative force working through us, especially in the shower, you guys notice. Maybe if you're anything like me, I know a lot of my friends have the same kind of vibe going on. When you're in the shower, and me also the bath, because I do spend great deal of time in there as well. But especially in the shower, it's like they're boom. They just kind of get dropped right into your awareness. And it's like a drive-by booming. Drive-by epiphany. I don't know. But I mean, I'll even write down, got this idea in the shower on this date. But it's like there is this creative force. And yes, we use our brains, our thought process to decode, or what's the word, put together the information that's being downloaded to us, or the creativity that's rising up from our spirit. But I don't personally feel like when I get a creative download, as we want to call it, that it originates inside my head or in my brain. It may possibly come from another source out there, the muses and what have you. But to me, it feels like it rises up from my spirit, whatever that looks like exactly. And then it's like my brain or my mind or my thoughts catch on to it and then take it away, So yeah, I don't know. It's a weird thing. It's something I've been thinking about a lot, just feeling into that energy of the thought process, and, even just trying to sit there and observe my inner dialogue, or when I am concentrating on something, like when I am, editing my book, which I've been doing very consistently this week. Pat myself on the back for once. Yeah, I'm making really good headway into book 2, which is good because I really want to get book 1 out to you guys and everybody who wants to read it, and then book 2, and then book 3, book 4, book 5, and then the companion novel, because it was 2 companion novels, but one of those companion novels is now very interwoven into the main series that I can't extricate it from the main series. It's just going to have to be a book, kind of stepping back in time in the main series, but still a lot of the same players are in that book. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just in this zone with just being the observer of my thoughts and trying to, when those negative thoughts come in, and it's not, here's what I would say, you guys, though. Don't just any tiny little negative thought. If it's not on love and light, just toss it in your spiritual, trash can of divine fire. I say don't do that. If you know it's a blatant spiritual or psychic attack, absolutely act swiftly. But if this is something that's like you're doing that again, or maybe you should have made a better food choice, or these can be, yes, it may seem negative, but these can be your intuition speaking to you as well, or your spirit, or or. So before you just throw everything into the fire and la-di-da spiritual bypass. I mean, dealing with a blatant attack and putting it into that divine trash can of fire and sending it back to the original source creator, I think is a good move. But when it is your true spirit trying to nudge you in a new direction or get you to realize something, or, whatever it is, you can sit there and feel into certain quote unquote negative thoughts and see what it is they're trying to say. Because just because it's negative doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. So it's kind of a, two-sided coin here. When we know they are, oh, you're fat, oh, you're ugly, the thoughts that just, you walk by a mirror, it's like, oh my God, you put on weight, or, whatever it is. Just, I don't know why those all were like vanity type examples, but there you go. It was weird though, because vanity examples coming up, it was weird because I got out of the bath the other day, or it was like evening, and I was looking in the mirror and I was like, I'm almost 42. I think I should look a little older than this. It was kind of like a reverse. Rather than feeling bad about my appearance, it was kind of the other way. Yeah, it's really weird how that is, but I don't know. Very interesting times. How to disconnect and net away negative thought forms before I go to bed lately. They're placing negative thoughts in us is a real thing. Absolutely. And again, my book series, this is a major talking point in a lot of the books in my series, if not every single one of them. Hi, Kirsten. Welcome. Is it like a Game of Thrones series in length? I've been able to purify my thoughts in front of the stove sometimes. Oh, there you go. No, I would say, and I haven't personally read that or cracked one of those open, but I hear they're like a tome, basically a big, thick book. And he's got a lot of them. And then I think people have been waiting 10 plus years for another book from George R.R. Martin. But again, never read them or even watched the series on Hulu or wherever it is. I haven't watched any of it, or I do get like the, what do you call them, like the pop culture references here and there. So I kind of have a general gist of what's going on with Game of Thrones, but that's what I've heard is, I don't think it's as epic a fantasy or series as that would be ever. It's more set in, it's set in the 90s for one thing. So it's got a very, I don't think even urban fantasy is the right description of my book, because there are quote unquote fantastical elements in the book, but because I'm talking to you guys, we could almost just consider this a contemporary novel, not even having to label it paranormal or supernatural or speculative fiction, because we know, those of us that are here, know this stuff is going on, and the, negative entities are a thing. Like, we know that, but, in the book classification and genreing of different books, I'm gonna have to call it a certain thing. Yeah. Oh no, Brandy, I figured you were busy. I totally get it. Oh, you've read 1.5 books of that series. Oh yeah. I think there is a difference between a positive or negative thought and thought form. It takes a little practice to. Yes, absolutely. So and here's the deal. I think there are multiple, I don't know, for lack of a better word, entities or, and funny, as I said, entity, I heard government entity, medical entity. Isn't it weird how they consider, these different things entities? Could it be because there are entities controlling these systems? Things that make you go, We know that. But anyway, for lack of a better word, there are, yes, different levels to the thought bombardment interference entities. So on one level, we have these frequencies they're just blasting us with the Wi-Fi, the EMF, I better did not say certain 5 plus the whatever letter of the alphabet, G. Yeah. So they're blasting us on one level as a form of quote unquote mind control or kind of like hive mind. Um, and it's all very aggravating kind of energy. It can be subtle, but it's like even when you are relaxing or resting, if you're somewhere near a router or near a phone, there's just very, and of course, we're probably almost desensitized to certain levels of this right now. But if we were to take those of us that existed in the 90s, let's just say 1995, we'll go back to 1995. If we were just sitting there, however old we were in 1995, just minding our business, and we had to sit next to a router or a tower, those cell towers and stuff, back then, with the body we had back then, we probably would have passed out, maybe lost our lives. These frequencies, it's been like, what's the best way to say it? Like a boil the frog method. If you put a frog into boiling water, he's gonna hop out. But if you put the frog in water and you slowly turn it up and higher and higher and higher and higher until it's boiling, the frog's not gonna move because it just acclimates until it's dead. And that's kind of feeling like energetically like what they're doing with these frequencies. They're literally, again, I don't want to say too many buzzwords here. They're literally doing that in the chat. Check the chat. Yeah, that's what they're doing to us. But here's the beauty part. And there was another little side tangent I want to talk about that I was kind of discussing with my mom, and it was just like, this makes so much sense. But anyway, so yes, they are doing that. Plus you have like earthbound entities, people who've crossed over that are still kind of in this earth realm. You've got astral entities very much intermingling in this just material 3D world right now as well, that can hook in. They can read all your thoughts. They know your fears. They know your dreams. They can get in there and know everything about you that you know about yourself, which seems very unfair and very much a violation of free will and privacy. But as most of us here now have found out, they're really, if there is free will, it's more like this than the this we've been told, obviously. If it was the this we've been told, our birth charts wouldn't almost fit us like a glove, or even more like a second skin or a skin. But anyway, so yes, there are different levels. And then there's also this AI, which, the Matrix itself is AI. So AI has been around a lot longer than we think it has, and been operating behind the scenes. And now it's just becoming this buzzword or this like trendy thing that everyone's talking about. But it's been in existence since this incarnation for us, and way, way back, way back. So it ain't no new thing, ain't nothing new under the sun, as they say. It may look different now than it did then, but here's the deal. I think, just my personal opinion on this, that when they make changes or updates or upgrades to this, frequency net or net matrix or whatever we want to call this, that they placed over this realm to keep us, kind of confused, I think is probably the best word, because I'm not going to sit here and say that they've trapped us, because I don't know that for sure. And in fact, I would say there's always got to be a way out, because we are true spirit, and maybe they can trick parts of that spirit, but not the full thing. But that's just my opinion. Yeah, and we are evolving faster, I think, because we've kind of almost been forced to. Because yes, they are doing what I typed out in the chat, but at the same time, Mother Earth herself, the planet itself, herself, is also bringing up these very high vibrational frequencies and energies that our body are intermingling and integrating with. And again, that is why, and also these cosmic energies coming from the grand central sun down through our sun and into this realm. Suns are portals. Suns are feminine. I know they're masculine in astrology and everything, and even like the sun gods were the masculine energies and entities. But remember, everything's been inverted, flipped, inside out and upside down and backwards here. So yes, suns are portals of energy, from which we're receiving a lot of good energy that is helping us. We would not exist right now if we weren't getting assistance from Mother Earth and beyond cosmic energies. I don't know where exactly they're coming from. I want to say source, creator, but it could be any number of places for all we know exactly. But But also another hot tip that just ding, 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 dropped right into my awareness is the fact that, and I've been kind of bitching about this on this live stream on and off for years now, about the fact of what the heck can we actually eat? What can we eat anymore? Everything's either poisoned or full of toxins or hopped up on hormones, like GMO'd, like nothing is completely natural. And I even read this statistic again, probably back in 2020, that, and this was something they had talked about in 2016. So even, almost what, 8 years ago at this point? 8 years ago, the apples that are in existence, for one apple, you would have to eat, I can't remember the exact number, but it was definitely over the 8 to 10, somewhere in there. You would have to eat either 8 to 10 apples from when our grandparents or great-grandparents, depending, our age, around the turn of the century, would have eaten. So to get the same amount of nutrition in the apple of today, you would have to eat 8 to 10 apples from back, or, 8 to 10 apples for today compared to one apple back in the day. That's what I'm trying to say. Nutritional wise, like the nutrition has just been, the soils are completely degraded of anything, like the amino acids and like the fulvic acid, humic acid, all these beautiful things we need to grow, really great food for ourselves that is going to benefit us. So here's a hot tip I did learn. Those of you that are my gardeners out there, you grow your own stuff. If you're planting, let's just for the sake of argument say it's a tomato. You're planting a tomato and you got your little sprinkle of seeds. Put them on, something that you're prepared to not keep, because you're going to be spitting on those seeds. Yes, you heard me right. And if you have a family that you are creating these food for, have everyone in the family spit onto the seeds. And I know that sounds weird, but hear me out. This is something I do when I'm outside without thinking, and it became this huge epiphany for me. I'm just sharing epiphanies left and right tonight, so there they are. If they resonate, take them. If not, just let them fly. But anyway, when I'm outside and I'm pulling weeds and I'm gardening and I'm, working out in the yard, I constantly am spitting. And I was like, why do I do this? And I tuned in. And especially with the seeds, if you're planting foods and herbs and fruits and whatever it is, apple tree or whatever it is you're planting, sake of our argument, tomato seeds, you spit, and everybody who's going to be eating those tomatoes, everybody in the family, spit on those seeds, because it's, your spit, your saliva is your DNA. So your DNA is intermingling and telling those seeds, hey, well, okay, so if we have two people that are spitting on the seeds, or even just for example, one person, oh, this person is lacking in vitamin E a lot. Oh, they are really deficient in magnesium. And, again, this will only work. Let me pedal it back. This will not work with anything that's been genetically modified, which is so much of what's out there. And I would say probably 95+% of what's out there is modified or dumbed down or not original. And even the quote unquote heirloom seeds that our grandparents and great-grandparents and their great-grandparents had, who's to say how tampered or untampered those are? I'm not sure. But you want to get as heirloom of a seed or as natural and organic of a seed as you can find wherever it is you're getting your seeds. Some places are better than others. I'll just say that. Do your due diligence and your research on where you're getting your seeds. But even if you're, getting your seeds at Walmart, still do it and set the intention, because, hey, our intentions are literal magic, or, magic to me is almost like a word. It's like magic, matrix. It's like a copy of something rather than the true thing. It's like you're using magic because you can't tap into the true power. So I'm almost just calling, instead of saying magic, I'm saying alchemy, because to me, alchemy is like the true power of what we as spirits can do, is alchemize, transmute, all of that good stuff. So set your intention, even if you've got your Walmart seeds, or, you have a handful of seeds and you don't know, maybe you know what they are, but not where they exactly originated from. Maybe someone gave them to you and you're like, I don't know if these are heirloom or not. Still set your intention, spit on your seeds, and away you go, because you will get the benefit of that. But yes, going back to the epiphany I had when I was talking to my mom the other day. And again, because we don't know, I still tune in and I'm like, and it's weird because sometimes I'm like, yes, I should eat this. And other times I'm like, no, I should stay away from it. But even when you go to the store and say you're buying a little, thing of bananas at the store, and you're getting a big yes on one bushel of bananas, or do they call them a bushel? I don't even know. One bunch of bananas, and then 3 weeks later you're having a new one and you're hearing, ooh, your body, not this one, not today. So it's almost like you can't just test or ask your intuition about a food once. You got to continually ask, because these foods are coming from different locations and, genetically modified lines and streams. We just don't know. So continually asking and tuning in with your own intuition about these things, I think, is important. But all that being said, I almost feel like eating food, and I'm not condoning or telling anyone to stop eating. That's not what I'm saying. So hear me good. Hear me good. I think the actual nutrition that we are getting that is actually sustaining us and keeping us what we would consider in this realm relatively healthy, even though they're hitting us from every angle, the air, the water, the food, the medicines, the everything is just being hit. Here's the deal. Our spirit is bringing through nutritional value of some sort, be it energetic or literal. I don't know, but this is just the epiphany I got. Huge download I got. That if it weren't for our spirit, basically running the show to keep us going, if we were literally only reliant on the food here, we would all be dead. It is that toxic. Even the stuff that they call organic, it's still getting the stuff they spray behind the planes, raining down on it, unless you're literally growing things like in a vacuum, in a bubble, untouched, and you're making worm tea and using that worm tea to create in compost, and you're just doing everything as completely from scratch as you can. Even then, there's toxins getting in. They have toxified everything in this realm. So you can thank your spirit right now. You just give your spirit a round of applause for sustaining you, because it's not the food, sis. It's not the water, bro. It is your spirit that's sustaining you at this point. Again, still hydrate yourself. Still set the intention with your food that it's going to nourish you as much as it can, but also beyond, because your spirit's coming in to nourish you in ways that the food just hasn't been and can't. It's degraded. It's plastic. It's fake. It can't anymore, But again, still do what you need to do as far as you're eating and you're, again, drinking. And that's something I've really been struggling with, is even though I have my little affirmation in here, I think maybe it's time I just revisit this energetically and, put some new intentions into it. I'll read it for those of you that want to hear it, but I can drink water all day and all night, and I still am thirsty. And they say a sign is if you're thirsty, you're dehydrated. Well, how can I be dehydrated if I usually get 2.5 to 3 of these, and this is a 40 ounce. Not that kind of 40 ounce. It's not a 40, but 40 ounces of water times 3. That's a lot of water for someone who weighs, 135, right? That's a lot of water. But I'm so thirsty all the time, and I'm not the only one. So many people I talk to, they can drink all day, every day, and they are still just very thirsty. Cola 45. I love it. Yeah, I think we were evolving faster because of it, to be honest. Did I miss some of your comments up here? Yeah, let's see. I think there's a difference between, okay, we did read those. Okay. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anyone's comments here. I think we're evolving faster because of it. Yes, absolutely. My daughter's the same way. Oh, spitting outside. Yeah. I don't, since I was a knee high to a pig's eye, as they say, very small, I've been just spit outside. I couldn't stop myself. Working forest fires with all those dudes from the army. I'm the only girl out there, just spit. Maybe that's why I'm thirsty. I'm just spitting everywhere. Only outside though, not inside. Come on now. But yeah, anyway. Your body loves when I don't eat because it isn't reacting to food. Yeah, and here's the deal. 80% of your daily processes and energy goes to digestion. So again, not medical advice, not telling anyone what to do, but if you can fast once in a while, that'll give your body that much needed, free up those much needed, energies to go to work on clearing out the yuck, just all the yuck that's just always constantly coming in. But anyway, here's my little water. It's seen better days, but I'm just going to read this for everybody. And if you want to, either now or later, at any point, set this for yourself and put it in your bottom of your own water, or, just have it on. I don't know. I'll just read it. Okay. My body and systems use all the beneficial. Okay, and we've got bleeding of the pen here. Artificial. No. Beneficial parts of my water and lets go of what's not helpful. My water revitalizes and replenishes my energy systems and body to perfect balance and alignment. I get the full hydrating and nourishing effects of the water I drink. My digestion works perfectly, and my lips and skin are moisturized and supple. My water hydrates me to perfect balance. And that's just something I just created on the fly as I'm trying to think of a nice water intention. And I have a rose quartz crystal in here, which again, I need to wash this. It's been a minute. The outside part. I always wash the inside. I usually wash it with this on. So seeing that it needs a little bit of scrub in there. Yeah, it is a big thing. And I don't know. I have mixed results on fasting just because like people with diabetes and stuff really shouldn't fast because it can really throw the blood sugar out of whack. So again, feel into your true spirit and ask, what is best for me? What is best? You never know. I personally felt the best on one big meal a day. Yeah, and I've never really tried that purposely. But there have been times in my life that you just get so busy or so immersed or so wrapped up in what you're doing that you're like, oh my gosh, I haven't eaten. It's 3 p.m. Same. I feel good on those days. And I just usually will eat a big meal like around, I don't know, say for the sake of that argument, it's 3, 4 p.m. I eat that big meal and then I'm good. Like the rest of the night, I'm still full. On to the next day. Yeah, take personal needs into account. Absolutely. Because even if they could find the perfect human diet, I guarantee you there's going to be millions of humans that cannot have that perfect human diet. So again, feeling into your intuition and also using your logic and reason. We can't completely throw those out the window either. Yeah, just really do your due diligence, your research, your intuitive tappings in, whatever it is you need to do or want to do. But again, just know that, don't think so hard that smoke is coming out of your ears because again, your spirit has got your back. Your spirit's not going to let you check out right now just because they're doing all that they can do to get you out of here. If you're doing your best and you're setting an intention here and there with your food and your water and your health, then I think you're miles above the rest, But the more you can do and the more you can tune into your true spirit and see what is best for you, the better off you're definitely going to be in the long run. Because especially in this matrix, health is your greatest wealth. If you want to be here to make any kind of difference, or if you have kids, grandkids that you want to be around to see, your health is going to be your greatest wealth. And here's the deal too. If you have health, you can continue to acquire wealth. But when you don't have health, unless you're able to retire or you have disability or something that can sustain you, you don't have wealth if you don't have health. Usually. Yeah, it's a hard thing. It's so hard to just exist in this place, I tell you. Yeah. So many people can't eat dairy, like it's mostly a Western thing, milk in particular. Yeah, and again, I'm wondering if it's just because of all the stuff they're putting in it. If someone were to go straight to the tap, straight to the source, maybe not completely straight to the source, but milk that source into a jug or something, and then from day one, not just starting now, but like from day one, because of course our bodies are used to certain things or not used to certain things. But from day one, if a person was given pure and untainted, straight from the source, and I'm saying even straight from the source, what is it that the cow has been eating? If you're drinking cow's milk, or the goat, if you're drinking goat's milk, or whatever it is, what has that animal been consuming to then produce this product you're consuming? Like, again, we can't just start where we think we're getting it. We got to go all the way, all the way to the, what's eating what. And this is a literal what's eating what world. You ever think about that? Like this system is built on sustaining our life by the death of something else, be it a plant or an animal, or animals out there, taking each other down on the, savannah. It's like, this is a death system. It's crazy. Yeah. I wish I took care of my body when I was younger. Yeah, I know I could have, sorry, got the throat thing still. It's fun. I know there are, just growing up, I did have a lot of good home cooked meals, and my mom and grandma both taught me how to cook certain things. So I was very lucky there. But also, a child of the 90s, single mom with 3 kids, there was a lot of fast food, there was a lot of processed food, a lot of this and that. But even into my 20s and 30s, and now, once in a while, junk food and stuff. But I try, and I'm trying even harder now, to stay away from processed foods. Because I was doing this thing where I'm like, I'm cutting out, just sugar. I'll have my monk fruit sweetener, which is not sugar, in my mushroom coffee in the morning, and that would be it. And then we don't buy like cookies or candies or even chips or anything like that. Sometimes chips if we're having like sandwiches and chips or something for dinner. But like we don't buy sweets to just have on hand. Maybe once in a great while, something sounds good, and we'll go out for ice cream, or like Ryan the other day brought home a little thing of blueberry, I think, or huckleberry, I can't remember which one, ice cream, and the kids had that gone in like 3 days. But like for the most part, it's not like just a constant that there's snacks for days, and no. But even just getting a can of tomato sauce out of my pantry, and I just was like, I wonder what's in this. This fructose, this, and corn syrup, that, and sugar, and words that are sugared in disguise. It's like, no wonder everyone's got diabetes. Like, what the heck? You're trying to cut out sugar, but like your spaghetti dinner has sugar in it, and your ketchup has dinner in it. Your ketchup has sugar and sugar and sugar in it. Yeah, just read the back of your ketchup bottle. There's like, I don't even know how many different types of sugar and words that are sugar in disguise. So many. It should be illegal. It really should, but again, the systems, nothing's by accident. I'll tell you that. Because here's the thing: with all the money, resources, knowledge, wisdom that is at the disposal of this world, we could have a much better world if the people at the top would or did want a better world. They don't. I mean, it should be just looking at that from in that lens, without keep all the spirituality and religion and whatever else out of it, and just look at it from a an empathic or empathetic human with that kind of wealth and the changes and the good that person could do on this planet, and they don't. Or they'll do this or they'll do that and disguise it as philanthropy, but it's really actually hurting people more than it's helping. But of course, none of the people who are looking to make a big difference in this world in a good way ever make it that far up the wealth ladder to make differences with money in that way. I mean, yeah, sure, there are people with a heart. I mean, there's got to be someone out there, I'm sure. I'm not going to say never or it's always this way. I'm not going to say that. But for the most part. And here's the deal, though. We don't need unlimited, untapped wealth at our disposal to make big differences in this world. We don't have to do that. We can show up in whatever way it is that we're called, or the multiple ways that we're all called. Some of us were called to be parents, to raise a more conscious, next generation. Others of us, volunteer in our communities. Others of us create things that are going to, plant seeds of awakening in others. Others of us are, like fill in the blank, whatever it is you want to do. Even if it's just feeling sort of selfish to just, do the best for you, do the best for, your household. Even that is actually unselfish, because you are bettering the world by bettering yourself and tuning into your true spirit and just trying to make yourself a better place, That does make the world a better place, and then that ripples out. So even if you feel selfish just working on yourself, you're still making a difference. So don't forget that either. So I think I touched at least on the main point I wanted to make tonight about the, those really nasty thoughts, and even the more seemingly negative, but like kind of almost you ignore them because they're just constantly on chatter in the back of your mind. Examine those thoughts, maybe, not too deeply, maybe, unless you really want to go down a rabbit hole, and then before you know it, you're spiraling. Due diligence, but also use your intuition. But those absolutely blatantly obvious thought psychic attacks that come in, don't even give them a response or a second thought. See what I did there? Thought, 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 thought. Think, 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 think. Throw them in that big divine trash can of fire to recycle them back to the original source creator. And it works, man. It works. They try to attack again. Same thing, same thing. They finally just kind of petered out a little bit. And then later that evening, another thought came in, threw it in. So yeah, it's a very, again, it's simple, but it's not easy because we have to do the work. And that's the part that everybody gets hung up on, including myself a lot of the time. It's like, just drag my feet on my own spiritual practice because it is a lot of work to cleanse your energy, clear your energy, protect your energy, and then clean out again when things get in your energy. And it's a constant thing in this realm because we're under constant attack. It's not, once a month, there's a, spray in the sky or toxins in the food or an entity attaching to your thought process. No, it's constant, second to second, minute to minute, day, hour to hour, day to day, week to week, month to month, year to year, decade to decade, century. It's just boom, 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 boom. We're exhausted, people. We are exhausted. It's a lot, man. I forgot about the mushroom coffee. Oh, it's good. It's good. I actually stopped. Here's the, I have like probably 6 months supply backed up because I stopped drinking it when I was sick. And well, even before that, I kind of stopped drinking it for a little spurt because I was doing tea in the morning instead. So it's like a auto renew after so many months or whatever is what I have it set to. And I forgot to set it later because I still had quite the supply. And then they sent me a 90-day supply again, a big bag of it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I got mushroom coffee coming out my ears. So I did actually put a stop on it, probably till December plus beyond. I don't need any more. And I'm trying to even wean myself off of that because not that I feel it's bad or anything. I just think maybe there's better things I could be doing for myself, Oh yeah, I can repeat that. Let me catch up on your comments here. Hi Pam, how are you? Yeah, never introduce your kids to sauces. They won't have a taste. Yeah, right. And my husband, he makes his own ranch at home. And my kids like ranch, but like, yeah, again, with the ketchup, Wrigley's like ketchup. It's like, oh, I wish we never would have. It's all full of sugar. Of course, by now, like at this point, if you made your own sugar, you made your own ketchup, because that's pretty much what store-bought ketchup is just pure sugar. But if you made your own homemade ketchup, I'm sure they wouldn't like it because it doesn't taste like sugar. But again, all by design. Which would you prefer, success or happiness? Prompt for my 11th graders. Interesting responses. Oh, cool. Well, it's weird because this is something I said when I was little. We were doing this thing. I want to say it was second grade, maybe third. I can't quite remember which grade. But they had this whole thing about what you want to be when you grow up. And I did have like a thing I did want to be. But my big thing about when I wanted to grow up, just living with my single mom and my, visiting my dad, I could just tell both of them were unhappy people at the time. My mom had, I'm sure, great bouts of happiness here and there with the kids, but, a lot of stress being a single parent. But I just said, I just want to be happy. And then I said, I want to be a kid. And I even as a second/third grader, whatever grade I was, I knew there would never be a way I could become a Care Bear, but like, I wanted to do what the Care Bears did, but I couldn't put that into words as a second/third grader. But I still said Care Bear, even though my even second/third grade brain was like, I know that's not logical, but I'm putting it down anyway. And then I think I came up with something that was more matrixy or more accepted as well, just to throw in there. But like my big thought about it was, I want to be happy. But yeah, and in a weird way, maybe I'm stretching with this, but I now am a Care Bear, minus all the fur and pretty colors. I am a Care Bear because I do send out those intentions and, that love and that, that the Care Bears do. I do that. Many of us do that without even realizing it. That's what we're doing. But it's like when I would read, like on Facebook years and years ago, people like, oh, thoughts and prayers. I could imagine, like, if I'm sending my thoughts and prayers to someone, that it's coming out like the Care Bears, from their tummy, right? And for the woman specifically, like the womb space, that's where a mother's love is cradled. Also the heart, right? also. But yeah, all one big energy center, if you ask me. Originally, anyway. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, they make some higher quality ones. I've had some ketchup that was pure cane sugar before. Look around a bit and see if something was like pure, cane sugar or something that was a more healthier version of the sugar that, maybe even we, when we were younger, all of us here were younger, the sugar wasn't as toxic as it was or as it is now. And there's, now all sorts of different forms of sugar out there that are, our bodies are like, what the F is this? Our spirits are like, what the F are we supposed to do with this? How are we going to transmute this out of this body? Poor things. Absolutely. Oh yeah, let me repeat what I was saying about the compartmentalizing negative things. Okay. So I got bombarded with some really negative thoughts. And if you want to know exactly what those were, you can scroll back or watch kind of the beginning of the live stream when this is over, or even now if you want. But so I got these really blatantly obvious psychic attack type thoughts that were dark thoughts about like my house burning down because of my candles. That's pretty much what it was. And because I was in this creative flow state, having fun, being happy, being in joy, just making my candles. And then these dark thoughts come in. And I'm like, and then they said, you're playing with fire. And then I saw, I felt my spirit rise up in me, however I can describe that. I don't know if that's the right way to describe it, but like I felt this just energy rise up in me to meet this negative entity or whatever it was, thought form, where it was. And I said, you're darn right I'm playing with fire. And I threw it in this, because this is something I've been working with, I would say for probably the last month and a half-ish, and it's always on my right side, down by my feet, like when I'm closing my eyes and envisioning me cleansing and clearing my energy, or cleansing and clearing whatever it is I'm cleansing or clearing. I envision this, decent sized trash can of flames, like fire, but it's divine fire. It's the original source. It's the fire of original creation is kind of how I'm wording it. And anything that I put into that trash can gets recycled back to the original source creator. And here's the deal, you guys. Why do you think when they get us in the school system, and I know you're a teacher, Pam, and I know you have to play by a certain set of rules. I'm not trying to say that the teachers are evil or bad or anything. No, not at all. But the system that's in place is less than like 100 and some years old, right? So much of what we are learning, or even what we're taught, is basically us having to memorize a series of steps, or memorize words, or facts, or history, or whatever. And really, I'd say, Pam, you work in an actual creative part of the system. There are nuggets or pockets of creativity within the system, like the art classes and English class. I always loved me some English class. Favorite. So if I was ever in your class, you would probably be my favorite teacher, because I loved it. Yeah, memorize the lies of his story or history. Always written by the victors, and we know the victors are the bad guys. So like, we don't know what's going on here, really. Right, rote learning, yeah. But think if there was a different system in place that really nurtured each and every individual's individual and unique sense of creativity. If that was a thing, and you'd think by 2023, 2024, we'd have had something. And there are probably pockets and nuggets of places like this are popping up. Like here in town, there's an international school where they take each kid and they tailor the education to that kid. And I'm like, brilliant. Even if that kid literally changes their mind on what they want to be when they grow up. Hell, I'm almost 42. I'm still changing my mind on what I want to be when I grow up. Or I still haven't quite reached what I want to be when I grow up. I've been writing, but I'm not yet an author. And that's been my big dream, I guess. And that's what I wrote. That is what I wrote back in 2nd/3rd grade. What I wanted to be when I grow up. I wanted to be an author. I wanted to write children's stories. I'm maybe slightly older up there in age to more young adult into, like, I don't know that I'd want my 13-year-old, he just turned 13, oh my God. I don't know that I'd quite yet want him to read my series, but maybe by next year he'd be mature enough to understand the concepts, or to at least not be completely bored, I guess, because we're diving deep in this series. But anyway, I digress. Yes, it's about taking the creativity out of with this rote learning and just having to memorize everything. And, basically they are sending everybody into the school system to then send them to the different colleges and universities to basically create worker drones and worker bees, right? Um, yeah. So, but there's many people out there that are not, or maybe they started in that system, but they're not ending in that system. Me being one of them. I don't work a 9-to-5 job. I don't know. I have my hand in lots of different cookie jars as far as creative endeavors and ideas, because it would kill my soul to have to work a corporate job. And again, nothing wrong with corporate jobs. And there are people that do them and can still live a very amazing spiritual life. I'm just not one of them. I just couldn't. And even just working after college before I wanted to leave because it was a very toxic work environment. And then I just, by the time I was like hemming and hawing a bit with my unemployment running out and figuring out what I was going to do, I was pregnant with Boston. So I'm like, well, I definitely know I want to stay at home with my kids while they're young. So I guess here I am. But even by the time he was 4 months old, I had the creative itch to do something. And a friend of mine asked if I'd photograph her wedding because I've just been constantly photographing my new baby. And she's like, you're really good. And I'm like, oh, really? You think so? Thank you. That's nice. But yeah, I guess I'll do your wedding. $200. How's that sound? And that started my photography business. So like, yeah, I can't be held and put in a compartment or a box. I'm just not that guy. I'm just not. I can't. Difference between aphantasia and hyperaphantasia needs to be understood along with the degrees in between. Yeah, right. Let's see. That'd be amazing. My computer doesn't work. I have no connection to my smart board. My desks are broken. I have no air conditioning. Yet I have 175. Yeah. Wealthy community, by the way. Right, it is. Mining town. That's good money there. And that's a good community, a wealthy community. I mean, we're doing okay kind of community where I'm at, and we're still having huge deficits and major needs in the school system. And they keep levying, and we keep saying yes, take it. But it's just never enough. Yeah, it's just crazy. Something definitely needs to change, and they've known that from the day they instituted it. Get it? Instituted, institution. It's an institution. They've institutionalized all of us. Oh, but the insane people are running the sanitarium. That's the crazy thing. No pun intended. Oh, so much of this is just also in my books. All of it. I just go in my books. It's about taking down the institution. I think the main bridge of the whole theme of the series is about reclaiming your freedom. Yeah. Yeah, it goes straight to elementary and middle school, which is awesome. Yeah, I mean, that is good. But even still, it's like, there's so much going on that, there's such a need, and I just wish things were different. But hey, we don't need to wish, or we can wish, as just Sandy says all the time, but make a wish and then make it happen. That's what we need to do. We need to be the change we want to see in the world, right? So let's quickly get to our collective so that we can. Yes, Kirsten. I will look. I do have 2 donations tonight. Yes. So Kirsten, you have a full read, and you're starting us out. And then second on the list is 1 card for Kirsten. So 1 card and a full read. So there we go. I did get you. Oh, you said donations. Okay. So they're both you. We got it. See that my classroom is like a semi-comfortable jail cell. I mean, at least you're there, at least you're there to make it better. It's weird because I loved school at certain points during school, and I loved, going to the 2-year college I went to, and then later the university I went to. I loved all of it in ways, and then I hated it in other ways. Can you love and hate something at the same time? I would say yes, you can, because I did, and I have, and I will again, I'm sure. Not like I'm going back to school. I doubt I'll ever do that again, but I'm just living at the school of life, the school of the Matrix. But with all this craziness going on in the news and the realm and the everything, oh yeah, just in time, Linda, we're just about to start. And this is pretty much, it's funny because I'm like, what cards do I need to draw? And if you saw the thumbnail for this video, I'm like, let me shuffle the deck for some cards on the thought, like the basic psychic attack on the thoughts that we have coming in. And the two cards that came out were the Eight of Swords, and I want to say it was the Five of Swords in that deck. This deck, the Light Seers Tarot. I just felt called, and it's weird because I actually saw when I was trying to put together the kind of theme for tonight's live stream. I'm like, I saw the Five of Swords in this deck, which was the guy with the crow on his shoulder and just kind of like, oh, I have a headache. Oh, they're just getting my thoughts. They're getting that helmet of pain around my brain. And then the card comes out with the Eight of Swords. And I'm like, need I say more? Need I pull more? No, probably not. But this is also right up there in that energy. And this is what they're doing. But it's like, think of politics. Think of, the different news agencies that will report on the news topics. Not that I'm sitting there purposely watching them, but, things cross our awareness. It's always one spouting one side, one spouting another side, but really they're on the same team. And here's us as the human in the middle, completely blind to the truth, maybe intuitively, deep down in that, womb space. We're like, this doesn't feel right. But we're like pulled from one side to the other, or, trying to vet out something else. And it basically is just this whole wheel of confusion. So that's where so many of us are finding ourselves right now. But the good news is we have more power here than we think, or than we know. Our true spirit, like I said earlier about the food stuff, it's got our back in ways that we couldn't even fathom. And that is like, all the prayers that we're saying to some deity or God or goddess or whatever out there outside of us. Really, I almost feel, and again, follow your own spiritual and religious or whatever intuition on this. But I've just been directing any kind of prayers. And again, even the word pray, that's something a predator goes after. So like, even if you think you're praying to this God or that God, it's like, what is actually receiving that energy? It just, the things that make you go, So I've been directing any kind of prayer energy into my true spirit, which is a fractal of the original source creator. So technically it is a part of God, and yours is a part of God, and you get a card, and you get a card, and you get a card. We're all connected to that original source, right? So praying to ourselves, it does sound very narcissistic, but like, it's not. In a way, it sounds it, but it's not. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. But anyway, directing that energy into your own inner self and getting the guidance from that inner self is only going to benefit you at this point. Yes, again, wow, 2 threes. So the Three of Cups is about finding your tribe. It's about growing together, knowing together with people who get it, right? And we also have the Three of Pentacles, which is working together, collaborating, even if we have different ideas or different thoughts or, just different beliefs. We don't have to, completely be on the same page so much that we're all in a cult together, because that's not good either. We don't want that either. But it's the collaborative coming together of the different sides. And this is what's missing from this, because yes, there's 3 entities or, persons or animals on this card as well, but this is what the Matrix is designed to be. And I can't tell if that's her hair or like strings. I think you can almost interpret it as both. It's like almost like a puppet energy of her hands being tied, or like strings attached, I hear. Where instead it's like we should, as spirits, come here to be able to work and co-create this tapestry of life together and celebrate and enjoy this realm, because it is amazing in its natural state. It is amazing. No wonder we got tricked into coming here, those of us that did. It's beautiful, and it's creative, and it's stunning, and it's just beyond our wildest dreams in certain ways, but in others, it's our greatest nightmare, This is what we're building back toward. It's like the past is the future, and the future is the past, and the past is the present, and the present is the future. Did I confuse you? What else do we need to know, especially in these very chaotic times? I was like, with the solar eclipse coming up, and then the soul. Oh, the soul, the sun, SOL, that soul. Wow. Solar eclipse. The sun. So it's like we're rising above, literally. Like, whoops, this way. It's still backwards to me, so I gotta here. It's like we're elevating in this. So it's like we're taking these chaotic, because remember, the nodes, the north node, the south node, the Rahu, the Ketu, are the calculations of the poles of the moon that are also always integrated during these eclipses. It's wherever those nodes are transiting in the chart where the eclipses occur. And the nodes in the chart are the spirit shining through to say, this is where you've been and this is where you're going. And you can use those gifts from where you've been to get where you're going. So I love that we got this, because it's like, yes, there's chaos going on out there. And there can be chaos directed at us as well. But you know what? We can rise above. And look at all the almost just like codes and designs that are going on in this sun. And there's been a lot of solar activity, M-class flares and whatnot coming in. And, when that happens, there's a lot of like pressure in the head. So, and it's weird though. It's weird though, because when that's going on, that type of head pressure feels significantly different, and tuning into the energy of it feels significantly different than when I feel that big helmet of pain, specifically on that right side, that cage of pain that these entities or AI or whatever it is that's doing it put on my head to create the major migraines that I have or that I do get. And when that's going on, it's like if I'm not clearing my energy field at least 3 times a day, within, missing one here, one there, completely forgetting to do anything for a day, those migraines are back in an instant. So it's like I have to be on the ball with this. And the days that I get, especially we've got boys each in 2 sports, both in baseball and then also Wrigley in soccer and Boston in basketball. My husband's at like the baseball draft right now to get Wrigley's team put together. My kids, I told them to get to bed at 7. They're outside playing on the trampoline right now. So like we're already in the chaos times, even though like we're not as busy as we're going to be. And I already know April's going to be busy with just sports. Everybody says sports ball. But I can't be so busy that I drop the sports ball on my spiritual cleansing, clearing, and protecting, because it's now more important than ever. And I gotta go. I have to, for my own health and my own happiness, do all that without completely forgetting about it, because I will pay for it with a migraine if I don't. Oh, look what's on the back of the deck. The victory card. Yes. I love this. Yeah. This is the recognition, the reward. We will reap the reward of all this hard work we're putting in. I know that's more of a 9 of Pentacles vibe, but the victory is after a hard battle, or after, in this instance, psychic attack that so many of us and the collective and, people out there is getting warm in here. People are experiencing things. And especially wherever this eclipse, the solar eclipse and lunar eclipse that have been taking place, especially where that's going on in your chart, that's where you're going to see the chaos, unless you rise above it. I mean, you have that option as well, which I think many of us are. But, forewarned is forearmed. So if you know where these, and again, you can check your Western placements or your Vedic placements, and you might get a hint of what's actually happening. But I would say, again, check the Babylonian placement. Go to astroseek.com, go to birth chart, and select equal house system, Velo, Vehlow, I think. And then the Ayanamsha, select Fagan Bradley. That will get you the chart that this matrix runs on per the day you were born. If you know your birth time, that is going to be best. If you don't know your birth time, you're going to maybe have to try to rectify that in some way, or use your intuition to figure out where this eclipse is happening. And if you don't know how to read a chart, you're going to want to look for, let's see, do I even have it pulled up over here still? I want to say I did, but maybe I don't. Oh, I do. Yay. So if you don't know what to look, it can look a little confusing seeing that zodiac wheel. If you do not know what to look for, you're going to look for this little sign. It kind of looks like the Lululemon. Is that not Lululemon? Lululemon. Let me see if I can just show you my screens. Since I don't have my fancy setup where I can like share screen. Oh, play a cool sound effect. I don't have all that right now. Not yet anyway. Okay. So this is my chart, but look here. Do we see this symbol? That's the Rahu or North Node. Can we see that? I hope. That's the North Node. That's what you want to look for. And then the house directly opposite. So mine is in the 10th house. So directly opposite would be the 4th house. That's the axis, those houses. And what those houses have to do with and represent are where things are going, getting real for me. And you also want to check where these eclipses are occurring from the moon sign. You don't have to twist your chart to make the moon sign the first house, but you can find your moon sign, which mine is right with my North Node. So, sorry. We're not looking for the Rahu here. Sorry, I totally messed that up. So, rewind. Okay. You do want to know where your North Node is though, and your South Node, because this is your like a natural imprint of your North and South Node. So that's good to know. But for the eclipse, you want to know where it's transiting, which is the sign of Pisces in the Babylonian system. And the sign of Pisces looks like this. Okay, are we narrowed in here? Okay, so the sign of Pisces is here. Do we see this lovely little kind of almost H-looking symbol? So this is where the nodes are transiting. So you're going to want to, okay, here's the ascendant when you run your chart. So this is going to be your 1st house, 2nd house, 3rd house, 4th house, 5th house, 6th house. So my Pisces takes up 6th house and part of also the 7th house. But where that house starts is going to be where you're going to see the most of it take place. Okay? So then like I was saying, the moon sign, which my moon is up in Gemini here in the 10th house. So how many houses away is Pisces? So you're going to want to count this way, counterclockwise. Interesting. So we're going to go, okay, so we're in 10th house. So you want to count this as 1st house. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 into 10. 10 houses away. 9 into 10. So 9th house, 10th house. So that would be like affecting my career. 10th house is career. So, and then of course directly opposite of Pisces was and is Virgo, which that's where the lunar eclipse took place. Again, this is the Babylonian, where the actual matrix is existing or operating from. These signs, if you're looking at your Western chart, you can still gain something because sometimes the houses do overlap. If you do resonate most with that, then of course use your intuition. But if you want to know where these controllers are operating from, you're going to want to look to get the most accurate information for yourself. You're going to want to look at the Fagan Bradley Ionansha in the equal house Velo system. House system. Yes. All right. Any questions? Also, we're going to pull which deck? Oh, let's go to this one. And this other one too. Okay. Last 2 cards, and then we're going to get into Kirsten's 2 readings, two different readings for Kirsten. Full read and 1 card. All right, what else do we need to know, especially in these just crazy times right now? Ooh, Lizard with Tutara. Dreaming sight, knowledge, hidden gifts. I love it. Sorry, those of you that have headphones, just a second. Still dealing with this throat fun stuff, Okay, so dreaming. There's a lot of attacks going on in dreams, but there's also a lot of major and massive downloads that are beneficial for you taking place in the dream state right now. So it's a mixed bag. But again, if you're setting your intention to connect to your true spirit while you sleep, or to the original source creator, and basically just bypassing or avoiding the astral realm, you're doing yourself a great service. Even if you somehow find yourself in the astral realm at night, 9 times out of 10, I'll have to wake up because I have to pee or something, and that'll get me out of the astral realm. And then if I try to remember, fingers crossed, to reset that intention, I usually have more like prophetic and actual informative and intuitive dreams, rather than just feel like I'm being chased or fighting a battle like a lot of people's dreams are, or just being embarrassed or feel shame and guilt and crazy, the crazy things that happen in dreams. But sight, like third eye activations, and knowledge, just knowing things without knowing how you know that you know them, but you know them. And then hidden gifts, hidden talents. Again, that's your North Node energy and South Node energy, because again, they can never be disconnected. Finding your North Node, that little headphone symbol on your chart, and then the South Node symbol, it doesn't, oh, it does show up here. You have to actually tick the box to make the South Node show up. It's the exact opposite. So this one's like the little headphone like this, then the South Node is headphone like this. The Lululemon logo, but in reverse, and then North Node upright. Oh, what's going on? The eclipse is happening conjunct with your natal moon sign. Oh, boom. So there's a lot planned for you according to this matrix. So do your due diligence. If these are good changes that you're ready to bring in, awesome. If you're like, not today, Satan, you know what's up. You can set your intentions and try to circumvent that energy or transmute that energy. That's what I like to do better than returning to sender and giving them their energy back. No, let's take that energy, transmute it, alchemize it into something useful, because energy is energy. We just label it positive or negative, right? So if negative energy is directed at us from the matrix, we can, just like, you know, the vampire's way to psychic self-defense, John Creeder's book, alchemize it, transmute it. It's a lot of work. I mean, you could sit there and do this work all day long, tear up soul contracts, revoke soul contracts, clear your energy, protect your house, protect your body, protect your family. It is a full-time job by design, because they want us constantly doing this, which I would say this work is much better time spent than almost anything you could do, because you are actually making a difference in your own life. All right. But it's hard. It's a lot of work, and it takes a lot of time if we're actually doing our, you know, what we need to do to, it's almost like, you know, you kill one fly and then 40 more are coming your way. But if you were to just let this fly roam around and wreak havoc, it's worse. Again, flies are pretty much harmless, but that was probably not a great example, but that's the first thing that came to my mind. All right. Persistence. This is what I'm trying to say. Yes. This is us being very persistent in keeping ourselves in balance. Number 4 + 2 = 6. Wow. And 42 is a very divine number in and of itself as well. You can look up the number 42. But we have to be diligent. We have to be persistent in setting our intentions, in clearing our energy, in not allowing life to happen to us, but for us. We're setting the stage for what it is we actually want, and then we're taking action in a direction without just being tossed to the waves. It's like we're the waterfall. We're the one in control of the flow of the water. All right, one more, and then we're getting to Kirsten's reading. Last card. Anything else we need to know in these crazy times? Well, the lizard told us, and then the eagle also told us. So the lizard, sight, and the eagle told us vision. We got the number 13. Very feminine, divine feminine number coming online. It's also the death card. Fun fact. But death and birth are both feminine. That's feminine. Wow. And there's our waterfall just downriver. Look at that. We're making progress here. Look at this. It's like, am I making this correct? I don't know. There we go. That's what I'm trying to do. Something like this. So, you know, our waterfall's coming down, and then it kind of goes around a bend and around another bend, and then here it is coming out on this card. Look at that. We're flowing. We're in the flow. Or this could be a really great time to get in the flow of creativity, of making changes and shifts in your life, of bettering yourself, your life, your family in some way. You're going to have the vision and persistence to pull this off. Whatever it is you personally have aimed at you energetically from these eclipses, and what your birth chart is saying you already just naturally are talented and gifted at, and what your destiny, you know, your spirit's destiny, not the matrix's destiny, but your spirit's destiny has for you. Powerful stuff. So yes, a very long-winded hour and 24 minutes and 14 seconds worth of information for you to take and use as you will, or leave behind as you will. I will not take offense to that. That's cool. But yeah, there it is. Definitely resonated with the finding my tribe thing. I have such a hard time trusting people. I'm at the point, dreams seem like illusions to me. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's the tribe card. Yes. Oh, it also marks the end of your creative sabbatical. I had no idea. Yeah, and see, even though you had no idea, somehow, some way, there are no coincidences. There are no coincidences. It's like you're tuned into your own birth chart energy, or your own, the energy that's, you're tuned in. So take that as a gift that you're tuned in, and yeah, make something happen. All right. So Kirsten, we're going to move over to the Grunge Tarot. I found this one just hanging out in my closet over there when I was looking for something else today. I'm like, I haven't used this one in a hot minute. So we're using it. I just want to use I was actually looking for this, the Light Seers Tarot, and I found the Grunge Tarot. I'm like, heck yeah, we're using this one. It's been a minute. And this is a fun one. Okay. So I don't even know what Kirsten's question is yet, but I want to clear this deck and get it ready for Kirsten's energy. Sounds good. Oh, good. She's here. I was just about to ask, hey, Kirsten, you here? I know I was very long-winded with that kind of discussion and collective reading, but here we are. Got to play some Temple of the Dog, right? Oh, I love it. Yeah. All right. So here we go. Kirsten, I'm going to head over to my email tab over here. There we are. Inbox. All right. Oops, wrong one. And we had a third donation come in when I was not paying attention. So Pam. So Pam has sent a donation as well. So we'll do Kirsten's full read, then the one card read, and then Pam's reading as well. So we got 3 readings coming up. And also, I did not say this in the intro, so sorry about that. But those of you that know, you know. There's also the giveaway and the drawing. I just heard the door close downstairs. I don't know if my kids finally came in or if my husband's home from the minor A draft. Big deal up in here. All right. Sorry. I digress. Let's get back to Kirsten's energy and question. Okay. What is the outlook between me and Michael? Will we end up together? We already had 2 jumpers. Ooh, interesting energy. Okay. So this to me feels like a karmic connection. Not going to lie. We have the Devil and then the 6 of Cups, which is past energy. So either this is someone you were with before or knew before. I mean, you didn't have to technically or literally be with him before. So you either knew him from like back in the day, but if that's not the case, then it's definitely pointing more to past life. I can see there is attraction here, and the Devil is a very creative energy. So, I mean, it doesn't have to be all bad. I'm going to get a clarifier specifically on the Devil just to see. I am getting like a whiff of the Devil being like karmic energy here. All right. But let's just get a clarifier on this Devil card. Page of Wands. I don't know if he's like immature or if you're just ready for more, or one or the other of you is ready to take this relationship to the next level, but the other one's just like, I'm just having fun. I'm just playing around. I don't need anything serious right now. So it almost to me feels like in the past, it may have been more level playing field, but right now, I mean, but at the same time, there's something playful about it. So I don't know if this is a new connection. It doesn't have to be just completely immature. I don't mean it like that, but with the Devil here, there could just be that maybe we're biting off more than we can chew too fast or something like that. Let's feel in. Let's feel in. What's the outlook between Kirsten and Michael? And then we'll ask the question, will you end up together? Okay, the outlook between Kirsten and Michael. And again, I want to, yes, we know the tarot works and it's, the matrix is going to do what it's going to do. But we want to tune into your true spirit, Kirsten, to see if this is in your highest alignment. So tuning into Kirsten's true spirit, setting the intention, we're getting the information in alignment with her true spirit, what the outlook is between her and Michael. The Hangman. Interesting. Well, this could be like, you don't have to make it too serious. You don't have to, try to take things to the next level. Just kind of hang out in the relationship and see, because you're still in that learning phase. You're learning a lot about each other. So it's like there's no really need to get up and go somewhere or, not literally, but energetically. You don't have to keep going, go. one up what you did last week, what last week, just keep going, 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 going. It's like, just kind of hang out a bit, just take it slow, hang out. Like, that's the vibe I'm getting here. Just like hanging out. Like, he's literally hanging out. You know what I mean, though? Oh, you connect really well so far. Okay. Oh, and both autistic. So that could be what this is. That could be what this is. And that might even play in both of your heads, like, well, the autism thing. It really does, me, myself, also, yes. It can really make relationships a little more difficult, And I also have ADHD. Yeah. It feels like a very common duo if you have one, not that you have to have the other, but so many people in the autistic community also have ADHD and vice versa. It's interesting. But this just could be that, it might be difficult. Again, immature, not in the way that, everybody's, la, 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 I can't hear you, but like maybe just unsure in how to communicate, maybe, because he's communicating by, literally putting graffiti on a wall rather than saying what he wants to say, with his big boy words. So this could be just having maybe some issues in communication, or just not wanting to go there, meaning like deeper. And that's the thing, though. Like, people with autism, like, they're not afraid to go there, like, oh, we'll just get right to the deep questions. I'm not talking about the weather. I want to talk about my special interest. I want to talk about, the things that light me up and what lights you up, and I want to know about you. So there just might be that you guys just have a different way of communicating, but it's so you, and it's so what you need, But if, and I'm not going to sit out and say this is like a karmic relationship, so per se, but there are karmas from the past. And again, be these actual, things you as a soul or spirit want to correct, or what the matrix has heaped up on your big buffet plate when you came into this incarnation, I guess remains to be seen exactly, because we pulled this card before I clarified that I'm not tuning into those energies. Sorry, my kid's coming in. So interruption. So maybe you're being interrupted, as I am. But let's see. Page of Cups. Okay, so again, very youthful, young energy, just completely unexpected, out of the blue. So I would say, Kirsten, I'm going to ask still, will you end up together? But I would say for now, just have fun. Just see where the conversation takes you. See where the relationship takes you. And don't feel like you have to put a label on it tomorrow or by a week from now. Just feel into it and just enjoy. Just enjoy. But let's just see if we can get a affirmative or a no, or whatever it is that needs to come through from Kirsten's true spirit, if her and Michael will end up together. Three of Wands. So this is about taking action, taking things to the next level. So, again, if this feels in alignment with you eventually, again, probably I'd say give it another month or so to just kind of see what's going on before trying to say, oh, you're my boyfriend, or you're my girlfriend, or, whatever the case may be. So, but Three of Wands is about actually taking action on something and finally taking a leap, finally going on that trip, finally committing to that relationship, whatever it is. But again, it doesn't have to be tomorrow. It can just be soon. One big difference is I have low self-esteem and he has good self-esteem. Okay, so that could be kind of the difference here is, one of you is operating in one way, one of you is operating in another way. But that doesn't have to be a barrier to a relationship eventually. Let's just get one more card on ending up together. Cool. Yeah. Oh, 8 of Cups. So again, you make the choices you want, but there's someone feeling emotionally detached in the situation eventually. So I don't know if this is after 4 years, 10 years, a lifetime, in the next lifetime. But there will be action taken to maybe take things to the next level, but then eventually someone walks away. But that's every relationship, if you think about it. So let's get one more clarifier. Just anything else Kirsten needs to know about her and Michael ending up together. King of Pentacles. So I think that's his energy. And we've got here the heart-shaped box. And that's from Nirvana music video. And that's Kurt Cobain, not that this is Kurt Cobain, but like the energy. We've got like all the toys in the toy box. So again, very youthful, childlike energy. And we've got the 2 crows here. So maybe even looking up the symbolism of the crow. But King of Pentacles, we had all that page energy earlier, and now we have a king energy. So it's like there's growing up. Someone's growing up, or both of you are growing up, just in the ways that communicate, you know, getting attached, ending up alone again. I'd rather put up walls and be alone. Right. And it's so hard. And I think a lot of times when we ask about, you know, will you end up together? Maybe a better question is to ask, would it be beneficial for us to end up together? You know, sometimes just even the way that the questions are worded, we might get a completely different answer than if we worded them slightly differently. You know what I mean? But let's just see if it is in Kirsten's best interest. Last card on this topic. High Priestess. So you're going to have to tune into your intuition, dear. And I think a lot of times when I read for you, this is the card we get. But I think that's almost by design. It's almost like you tuning into your own inner wisdom to get the answer to make, especially a major life decision, like, you know, should I date this person? That's a pretty big deal, pretty big decision. And I don't think it's right that some girl on the internet is telling you, yes, you should do this, or you will absolutely end up together, or you won't. Or again, you do have that spiritual part of yourself that can override certain decisions or systems or topics in this matrix. So again, tuning into your intuition. If it feels good now, it's better to have loved than lost than to never loved at all kind of vibe. Is like the intuition coming to me on this. And yeah, it's like if it doesn't work out eventually, which, you know, at least 50% of marriages don't, 50% plus don't work out these days. But even if things didn't work out, you learned something in this connection, you know? But if they do work out, look at what you can experience now, you know? So it's almost like just having fun for about the next month or so, because it feels to me energetically or like timeline wise, that's perfectly fine. And I don't know how long you guys have been hanging out or, you know, whatever it is you're doing. But to me, another month added on to what you've already accumulated isn't that long. It really isn't. And I think by a month, you'll know what direction to move, whether to strengthen the bond or to just be friends or to walk away. Like, you'll know by about a month from now, you're going to know beyond a shadow of a doubt what your next move is, whether it's this direction toward him or toward yourself or, you know, whatever it is. The other thing is he's just getting out of a relationship. Oh, interesting turn of events. Yeah. And that could be why this month, you know, just allow him to do his processing so as to not allow you to become his rebound, you know? That could be why. That could be, again, the timing felt like that, like Hanged Man card again. I felt there was another facet of that I just didn't quite nail down. Knowing that, I think that's what it is. Boom, mic drop. That's what it is he's just, you know, maybe, I mean, even if you know, there's no love lost between the two of them, there's still energetic cords and connections that most likely he has not cleared up or, you know, processed or dealt with from that more recent relationship. And that would be really beneficial for him to be able to maybe have the next month or so or more, you know, if need be, to really process that and, you know, see what he needs or wants to do, you know, in the wake of all that. Hi, Pika Lee. Welcome, welcome. All right. Yeah, it is a love song. I think he did write it for Courtney Love. But it also has some kind of like toxic love connotations if you think about it as well. But as far as I can understand, those two didn't have the most pure connection, really. It was a very karmic connection. Even looking at their charts overlaid on top of each other, it's almost like neither of them had a choice to do anything but crash into each other. It's crazy. It's crazy if you can actually, and that was me analyzing it from just the Vedic side. I'm sure putting it more into the Babylonian side, it would be even more clear cut and dried that, wow, this was a recipe for disaster waiting to happen and could not be avoided. two trains coming at each other, energetically speaking. All right. Yeah, it feels like that. Right. And I know, like most people that know anything about Courtney Love and Kurt Cobain's relationship got it from the media, right? Like no one was a fly on the wall behind closed doors of their relationship. So, we know what we know just from what we've been told or seen or heard. And even just tuning in to the energy of that connection, a lot of toxicity. I mean, there's love there too, obviously, but it's a mixed bag. All right, so Kirsten, let's get your one card read. And I did not mean to go so long on that reading, but I did what I did. In 1 minute, Worm. Sorry, Wrigley's in here. I call him Worm. You need to get to bed. What should be my target market for a health coaching business? Thinking of doing glow up coaching. Yeah, I love that. And it's weird because as I was reading that, I saw like the planet Venus, the symbol for the planet Venus, which is a circle with a little line and a plus sign at the bottom. I can't do it. I can't. I don't have enough hands. You know what it is though. So I see working specifically with women, and I think glow up coaching, that could be a really fun concept. There's a lot you could do with that, but let's just tune in alignment with Kirsten's true spirit and inner self. What is her best path and target market for health coaching business? Thinking of doing the glow up coaching. Yes, absolutely feminine energy. Queen of Pentacles. And Queen of Pentacles is like that's the earthiest, the most embodied queen we have here. So I think that is going to be your best bet. And it's interesting because we've got two puppets on strings here, but it's like it's almost like you're helping these women break out of the box of what they thought health coaching is, or health and wellness is, or working out and eating right is, or, just whatever, you cover within your health coaching services. It's like you're showing, and I got chills now. You're showing these women how to break free from something to become more sovereign or more in charge or in control of their own energy. And I have all these trying to clear my throat and try to actually get my voice to come through for a second there. So it's like you're helping these women find their voice in some way. I appreciate it. Oh, you're so welcome. I was thinking of groups like plus size or neurodivergent or trauma survivors. See? Yes. Helping them cut the strings so they can control their own energy. And you're not there to control them either. You're there to facilitate the safe space for them to reclaim their energy from, feeling, out of, alignment with what the beauty standard is, or, having that neurodivergent brain and, the trauma. Absolutely. And you don't have to just do one or the other or the other. Why not, a mix? Specifically women, though, I think you working specifically with the feminine is a big power move for your business. Because I'm hearing it's what you know. And I don't mean that because you're a woman, that's what you know, so work with women. This is like spirit's experience, like your spirit experience and past life experience is being like, I'm seeing like a midwife doula kind of energy, maybe even medicine woman energy in past life that is really going to aid you in helping these ladies. Yes. Literal alchemy here with the magician. And that is Kurt Cobain on this card, by the way. I love it. Wrigley, you want to show him your sweatshirt real quick? Can you come over here, though? You have to plug that back in. Yeah. We got the Nirvana posters on the wall. Yeah, there it is. But, yeah, this is about, alchemy and creating, your own kind of recipe for health coaching. But doing the glow up coaching and then the other things that you've said here in the chat, I think you're on the right path. Yeah. But it almost feels like you're, from a branding perspective, it's almost like, where do I even begin? How do I set myself apart from all these other, glow up, this or that, or this aesthetic of this health coach or that? It almost feels just like in your own, mental process, how do I set myself apart? Or how do I, even at times we do want to fit in to a point because we don't want to be so outlandish or so out there that no one knows we even exist. So it's like finding the balance between standing out but fitting in enough that people know what you're offering and that it might benefit them, but also being unique about it. So this to me feels like a very mental process of going back and forth between how exactly to set it up. And one more, just anything else. But yeah, I think we're getting a really big resounding yes, specifically females and in whatever facets you want. And then we have King of Swords here. So this is almost like a healing of your own, or utilizing your own masculine to help heal your feminine, so you can help these other feminines embody both the masculine and the feminine with their own within their own energy. I love though that we have the king and queen to kind of complete, the cycle. I love that. But let's just get a word of advice or wisdom in setting up your branding and, figuring out the target market. Just anything else. The Lovers. Okay. So yeah, and it's interesting because we have the king and queen energy. This is the union of the divine feminine, divine masculine, but not so much just twin flame energy, but like your own divine union of divine masculine, divine feminine, and the people you're working with. But this is also about a choice. And I'm seeing you starting small because they've got like a camper trailer here. So they're not like living, as my grandma used to say, high on the hog. They're not living high on the hog, meaning getting, I don't know exactly what that means. I've always wondered what that means. Does that mean you're like getting the better cuts of meat, like toward the upper part of the hog? I don't know. Or if you're like riding that hog around, like this is what I used to picture with my synesthete brain. Someone just like going buck wild riding on a hog, just the hog's running all over a yard. Like, anyone else brain work like that? Like that's just where I roll or where I go. But like these people aren't living high off the hog yet. Humble beginnings is what I'm hearing. So you don't have to throw a whole bunch of money or be the most fancy or, show up. I'm hearing, and I don't mean this literally, it's more figuratively. Show up warts and all. Show up warts and all. Of course, do your best to create some nice marketing materials and aesthetic and logos and all that kind of branding. Do your very best, but if it's not perfect or like the end all be all of what you always hoped it would be, get going anyway. Get started anyway, because you can always rebrand later, but just get something that feels mildly appealing to you and get started. That's really what I see with that. Cracking. Yeah, where is the Chris Cornell deck? Is he in there? I think he is, like, he's got to be in here. He's got to be. And of course, we just have like random people as well that are grunge-esque or whatever this tarot creator's version of grunge meant to them. But like, it looks like there was just a domestic abuse situation, and she's just now watching maybe Singled Out or something on MTV. I don't know. But the Two of Wands here, domestic abuse aside, that was not your message. I was just showing John the card. But Two of Wands on the back of the deck. This is about making plans. So you don't have to have it all figured out now. You don't have to launch it tomorrow. Again, just giving yourself the time to brainstorm and come up with ideas. And even if you throw out those ideas and find new ideas, like that's what it's all about. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Also DV victims, domestic violence. There we go. Because there's a lot of that going on, especially now. The entities work through the people we love or the people that say they love us. It's happening constantly. And there are people out there that I still am like, is there even a actual spirit in that person? Because I can't find it. So is this an NPC? What is this? What is this? So that's going on. And you want to call those people handlers? Sure. Narcissists? Sure. But they always find the empaths and people who just want what's best for everybody. Why can't we all just get along? They always find those people and they always abuse them. And it's when we can heal that part of ourselves that feels like we're worthy of nothing more than that abuse, that's maybe where your services are really coming in handy, because you have And I know I don't know exactly everything that went down in your relationship with your ex-husband, but I know at least there was verbal and emotional abuse going on. So that's still a form of abuse. And you have that experience of that abuse that you can now help others with that wisdom that you've gained from that. So you've taken a horrible situation and made it something that you can help people with. All right, Kirsten, I hope that resonated for you, but yes, do it. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Just get going. You don't have to start tomorrow, but just start brainstorming. Just start allowing yourself to dream about it and figure things out, and you will get downloads. And I'm getting chills now. You'll get downloads, you'll get ideas, you'll get these divinely inspired nudges and directions that you're going. So it's beautiful. All right. Love it. Wishing you the best, Kirsten. That's awesome. Wanting to help people in that way is so amazing. So do it, girl. You're so welcome. Absolutely. All right. So we've got Pam, and then I saw another donation just come through. Okay. So Pam has 2 questions here. She paid for 2 full reads, and she wants a general reading and then a past life read as well. And then we had, it's not updating on this computer yet, so I'm going to head over here and see what's going on. One other donation from Pika Lee. Full read for Pika Lee. All right. So. Why are you still up? You're supposed to be in bed at 7. It's almost 8. So. Smart mouth over here. Oh my goodness. All right, so you need to, okay, you died. You finish your game and you go downstairs and you get a book and you get in your bed. And when I'm done with my live stream, I'll tuck you in. I will push the power button on that computer. You need to go.
I don't know how.
I don't know how? Sorry. Intermission. I just turned the computer off. But then the USB of my light is plugged into his computer over here, so let there be light. Oh my gosh. Okay, Wrigley, you really need to go. You don't want to get in trouble on my live stream. So if I were you, I'll let you, before we get into Pam's reading, I'm going to let Wrigley pull a card for everybody.
Can
meaning,
I pull 5?
No.
4?
No.
3?
We're pulling, you can pull 2 cards for everybody who's watching or on the replay. So come pull the cards and then you got to go. But you got to come over here on front of the camera and do it. And then you got to go read and I'll come tuck you in when I'm all done. 2 cards. Okay. What do we have? We have the Queen of Pentacles and the Lovers. These were both in Kirsten's reading just now. Very interesting energy. But I love the Queen of Pentacles. It's about making a decision to take your power back. Because in this depiction, she's kind of being controlled. She's controlling something, but she's also being controlled. So it's like, what's controlling the thing that's controlling the thing that's controlling the thing? Let the little man stay up 100%. I love it. But no, he needs to go to bed.
No.
We have the Lovers, which is about a decision. And this does feel like, for some of you that are watching, this is something as simple as just deciding to treat yourself in a way that's going to benefit you. Whether that's spending a little more money at the grocery store to buy foods that you feel are maybe a little more healthy, or, maybe even I'm seeing like rearranging of like kind of a feng shui situation, or just trying to declutter your energy. It could be your home, could be your car. There's a lot of that energy really like alive right now. Being springtime, this is a time to like dust everything off from the hibernation of the winter time and, let things shine anew again. So there is this kind of regenerative energy, but you're going to have to make a conscious decision or set a very clear intention with what to do with your life force energy here in the material world. Very creative, kind of, I always like to call her the MacGyver. Very MacGyver-like, or MacGruber, for those who remember that movie. It looks almost like MacGruber there. Well, in a way. Not quite, but a little bit. Oh, and really pulled one more, and then he's out the door. And then dedication with altar. So yeah, it's about being dedicated to making the choices, decisions, and lifestyle changes possibly that are actually going to benefit you and help you feel more in control, or as in control as one can be, of your own energy in this material world. So, cool little intermission message for everybody here. Okay, you need to go. No. Okay, we're not doing this where you just do whatever you want. You're gonna go. Put my mom hat on. Come on. I'm gonna escort you to the hallway. You ready?
No.
What are you reading tonight?
Done.
Okay, can you go find it and get on the top bunk? Have a kiss, just in case you're asleep before I'm done. I didn't plug you in. Plug you into the original source creator. Love you. Bye. Hopefully I'll still kiss you and hug you, but you may not be awake. I always do. Not that he knows that, but I do. Okay, now we're getting into Pam's reading, and we're going back to the Light Seers Tarot. Let's start with the general reading for Pam. And then we have a past life reading for Pam right after that, and then Pika Lee. Whoa. So, for Pam, tuning into Pam's true spirit, what does she need to know in alignment with her true spirit? What does Pam need to know? You might be waiting on something because it's taken a second for these cards to show up to the party. Ooh, Ace of Wands. If you're waiting for an idea, or it's almost like you're waiting for, how do I put it into words? It's like you maybe are trying to decide what to do, or like there's something you want to do, but you're not sure how you do it, and you can't just pick something randomly out of the air. You want a good idea or a good, like a sign to come for you to allow you to know, okay, now I'm going this way, or this is exactly, yes, this is my right path. But for you to get here, and I know that's not a tear coming out of the eye, like on the actual card, like it just looks more like a shadow, but on the camera, it looks more like a tear. So this could have been something you've really put a lot of emotional investment into. And, this decision, or this, deciding to take this path versus another is a very emotional decision for you. So let's see if we can get more information. What is this? And I was just told to move to this other deck, and we got the World card. So you're ending something, leaving something, and it's like an ending can be a graduation or a wedding. A wedding is also an ending if you think about it, because it's the end of your singlehood. Now you're on a new journey, the wedding, the marriage, new journey. Graduation, you're ending your stint at elementary school, middle school, high school, college, whatever. You're ending that stint and on to the next. So there's something you're ending and then on to the next. So it's like a bittersweet. So there's almost like a celebration of the energy that was and what you've worked toward, and now the celebration, and then the moving on to something beyond that. So I'm told to go to this deck now, the Third Eye Tarot. What else does Pam need to know in alignment with her true spirit? Ooh, the Seven of Cups, but it came out in reverse. Here I am, and there's the Wheel of Fortune. But again, I'm shuffling these upside down. So they both came out in reverse. So it's like a reversal of fortune. So if things have been kind of blah, kind of stagnant, kind of stuck, there's a bit of a reversal of fortune, meaning if it's been bad fortune, now it's good fortune. So that's good. But the world is very wheel-like in this specific deck. They're both circles. They're both, the world is allegedly a sphere or circle. But this is like a completion. We've got the Ouroboros around. You can see the snake almost eating the end of its tail there. It's like it's consuming itself. And that's almost like the matrix of, when I think of the matrix system, it's almost like this like flower of life, the new age symbolism of the flower of life, of, just kind of the mathematical construction of the matrix. And Ouroboros, I always think of as like something that's contained within something, or if this tail or snake were to let go of its own tail, it could free whatever is encased within, which in this case is a person. So it's almost like you're freeing yourself. And this might even be karmic, or as we more to the point, just whatever the matrix stamped onto your soul as you came into this incarnation as karma. Doesn't mean that you actually did anything bad to have to pay this karma back for, but that's just what the matrix said you're needing to do. But when we get this, I actually really love, and I don't know how other readers interpret the Seven of Cups in reverse, but I always, when it's upright, it's about maybe there's decisions, lots of opportunities, but so many opportunities, you're just so confused. But the fact that it's in reverse, I always like to say, you've made a choice, or there's a choice point coming, and that's now full circle back to where we started about maybe right now you're still kind of unsure of what do I even do? I need a sign. I need to know what my next step is. And this is you getting it. So yes, it's coming in. It's incoming. I'm hearing by April 23rd, between now and April 23rd. First date that came to my mind, there it is. But again, it didn't just pop into my mind. It rose up from spirit into my mind. That's how it works for me anyway. So yeah, it's like decisions, but then she made the choice. So either the decisions are going to be narrowed in a way that you are now like, okay, now I know what now I know. Or if you're still kind of like, I don't even know what this reading's about, between now and April 23rd, there's going to be something you're completing or finishing or putting an end to. But it's not like, oh, I'm cutting that toxic person out of my life. It's not like that. It's more like I was saying with the graduation, the wedding type energy is like you're completing and now moving on from one kind of level into something new. All right, what else does Pam need to know in alignment with her true spirit? This one. Stability with staff. So this decision or opportunity or, next ride on the Ferris wheel of life is about creating more stability in your life. And the staff, although it be a more phallic looking masculine symbol, actually originated with the feminine. And this is something I cannot remember the lady's name. It's a podcast. But she talked about in the days of old that the women, the witches, would actually put these, and again, this was a huge thing, and I got the chills then because it has everything to do with the nightshades and everything I was talking about with my book series, and it just blew my mind. And then this lady's saying this stuff, and I'm like, yes. But anyway, I digress. So they put nightshades, I can't remember the specific one, but in very small doses, the nightshades, like belladonna and oleander and these like very deadly plants can actually be medicinal or beneficial, but again, in very certain doses. So the witches would put the nightshade or whatever on the broomstick and grip it with the lady bits. And that's where the broom originated with and again, I'm skipping vast amounts of this story. I'm just trying to get to the highlights and the bullet points of how the staff, being kind of a more patriarchal symbol of masculine power, was actually, again, originated with the feminine way back before it was hijacked. And this was when there was a reverence for the feminine, not a worship or matriarchy. It's not like the women were greater than the men. It was just we each had our roles energetically that we played in this realm, and there was a reverence for the feminine. There was not a usurping or a degradation or a hijacking of the feminine like there is now, but a reverence, a appreciation, a respect. And that's where we're going back to. It's a long road back, but we're making our way downtown, walking fast, faces passing, we're home, right? Yeah, it's a long. I would walk 500 miles. I would walk 500 more. Lots of random walking songs are coming in, and I don't even know what this has to do with your reading specifically, but it had to come out, and there it is. So it's like really tuning in. Maybe the decisions. Oh, and the Ace of Wands in and of itself is the staff as well. I just put the card back, but it's the staff as well. And I was saying earlier, candles on the back and magic. Yes, I was saying magic equals matrix. So in the matrix, we have to tune into or utilize magic to make things happen. Where in the natural world that the matrix was put over, we didn't need magic. We just used our own alchemy to create whatever or manifest whatever we wanted, whenever we wanted, however we wanted. But in this matrix, we need magic. It's the more masculine way. Alchemy is a more feminine way. Just remembering a dream that I had about advising someone about nightshade. Wow. Well, it's crazy because in my series, in the book, I'm calling it book 3.5, but it's wedged its way in. It's now book 4, but I'm still in my mind and in my notes. I'm still calling it book 3.5, so I know that it's very distinctly not the original book 4 that was in place before this idea came in 2019. But in that book, it's set in either 71, 72, 73, 74, somewhere in there. I haven't nailed down the exact date yet. I will when I get more down the road with it. But yeah, they're in. It's basically, I'm calling it Project Cult. They're in a cult, a literal cult, and the group of friends they call themselves the Nightshades because they find a book and they realize, because once they're in the cult, and I might have spilled some of this earlier, but they call it the arrival ceremony when, yes, maybe you've been in the cult for months and you're still going by your outside the cult name. Say your name is Jim. You come into the cult, you're Jim. But then, you're now, in the cult, and we're naming you what was the word? Jimerson weed. You're Jimerson now. Or no, henbane. That's another nightshade. Okay, now you're henbane. Jim, you're now henbane. Well, the girl's name originally was Lily, a flower name, and they had her arrival ceremony and changed her name to Oleander, which is a nightshade. So all these friends, the teenagers kind of find each other in this cult, and they all realize after they found this book on plants and stuff that they're all named after nightshades. And they don't realize in the book the significance of it, but I hope eventually the reader does. I'm spilling way too many details that I probably shouldn't, but there it is. So it's basically like a hidden force of power, and I think this is all tied to your reading. It's all relative. It's all relevant to your reading. There's this hidden force of power that's just untapped. It's still concealed. It's still in there, and it's about you finding it. But you don't have to go digging for it. It's not like this big, maybe this is where you're feeling now, but it's all going to spill out and be very, very in your awareness. You're not have to go searching for it. It'll just pop right in like an idea or epiphany. It might even have to do, because we're talking nightshades, it's something you grow or plant. It's something to do with gardening, or again, gardening can be more of a metaphor as well, like cultivating something, planting a seed and watching it grow. Be more metaphorical rather than literal, but on the back of the deck we have boundaries with the athame. But this is a ritual ceremony knife, the athame. So it's like you are setting very clear boundaries with maybe negative energies, which I think all of us are really desperately needed to do in these times. I mean, this is just a massive, we're in a battlefield, and we have been since breath 1 of this incarnation. We've been in a battlefield, and some of us knew it, some of us didn't, some of us finally did realize it, and other people are still oblivious to the fact, or will flat out deny the fact. No, my life's fine. I don't know what you're complaining about. Well, it is what it is. Let's agree to disagree. But yeah. Anyway, any closing statements, arguments for Pam? Anything else that needs to come through? And again, I went on a while, but there it is. Shaman with completion. You and that shaman energy, but there's your completion again. And look at the concentric circles this time. It's not just one circle with the Ouroboros and the world, or that wheel energy, wheel of fortune energy with the yin yang symbol. This is shaman. This is reclaiming. Maybe that is what's hidden. Is the shaman. Wow. Your own inner shaman coming back out. Medicine woman. Yes. I love it. We always get that energy with you. And of course, because it's you, obviously what we just uncovered is now tied to the past life that we're going to uncover for you. That's how this works for you, Pam. So we're diving in. Past life oracle. Uncover your past life oracle. There it is. Make sure I got all the cards out and left the... Okay. I think this is what we're doing. Okay, so... All right. Got all the relevant cards back in the shuffle here. I think. Yeah, this one's one I think you can write your own on, maybe, because it has the same... I don't know, maybe it's slightly different. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Not relevant. All right, what's going on? What does Pam need to know about this past life that we're now tuning into? In alignment with her true spirit, what does she need to know about this past life? What past life? Psychic wounding, trauma, and explorer adventurer card. So it's the explorer adventure card. And this is the first thing I looked at was the explorer. But on this side, it was the psychic wounding, trauma, about being an explorer. Or, wow. Oh my God. This is so tied to your other one. Because remember, the Ouroboros almost contains something that was once maybe wild and free and allowed to roam and go beyond. But now you're contained in the Ouroboros. You know, we're all in the Matrix here. Wow. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, wow, wee, wow. Remember Borat? Oh my gosh. Wow. I'm trying to see, because some of these... Yeah, I guess they all have different traumas, locations, death. So let's see on this card. So we have celestial. So the faith of the time, or the religion, would be more celestial. So in alignment with the, I'm hearing celestial architect. So this is like before the Matrix was put up, but you were incarnated here on Earth. I feel spoiled right now. Everything is resonating. I love it. I love it. This probably is resonating, hopefully, with so many of us, because so many of us, have been on a very similar path, in lifetime after lifetime. So, wow. Yes. Time frame pre-Earth, or the pre-Earth as we know it, is what I'm hearing. And as I said that, I heard that song. It's on Tommy Boy, the movie. It's the end of the world as we know. Is that REM? It's the end of the world as we know it. You know that one? And I feel fine. And that's exactly what this time is. It is the end of the world as we know it. And we feel fine. I mean, it's hard out here for a pimp right now, but eventually we're going to feel fine, but you died of old age in this, and that's not the case in a lot of your lives. Usually you're killed for your knowledge and your wisdom, but in this specific life we're tuning into, you died in old age, not taken out, because again, this is pre-Matrix times. So, and I'm seeing you still as a very young, I see very long, and I'm talking long, but you yourself, wow, it's like 15 feet tall. So people were, back before Matrix times, much taller. The trees were taller. I'm seeing very, very long blonde hair, like white blonde. We're talking like white, like Nordic white, Nordic colored. Yeah, wow. And yeah, so the lesson in that life was self-love. I love that. But let's get some actual cards. Just anything you need to know about kind of bridging the gap from that life to this life, and anything that we just uncovered in that past reading we just did. Just what does Pam need to know about this life and that life? Okay, so Page of Swords, and it's in reverse, because again, I'm just shuffling everything in reverse tonight on accident, but is it really? So Page of Swords in reverse, this is somebody who just can't, they want to tell everybody the truth, but they feel like they have to hold it in. I mean, if this was upright, they'd just be shouting it and blabbing it from the rooftops. But this is almost like, I wish I could just show people a screenshot of what's in my mind and let them understand how I feel, what I see, what I know. And it's so hard, even with people you really resonate with, you just the words just can't express this concept or that concept or this feeling or that feeling. And again, kind of bridging into this life is where in that last life that we were tuning into, you literally could just tune up with someone and show them, and kind of like a Bella Edwards situation where she could allow him to read her thoughts or see what she was seeing, And then their daughter, I think, was the one that could show people exactly what she thought of them or how she felt and all that. So more telepathic or just like a sense of knowing between two beings or two people that just is missing the mark in this life and many other lives since, because we're just not wired that way anymore. That's our original blueprint. That's the original way we could communicate. We didn't even need words back then. We probably had them because, we were just extra like that, I'm sure, but we didn't need them. And they may have even stood in the way of conveying a concept or how we felt for someone or about something. And that's, I think, in this life, maybe even from a very young age, Pam, you've struggled to, maybe you have beautiful and eloquent words, but they just still aren't adequate enough. Same problem. Not that I'm saying my words are beautiful or eloquent, but like all the words in the world couldn't quite express exactly what I'm trying to show or tell somebody. All right, what else does Pam need to know about this specific lifetime and bridging the gap to this lifetime? Journey with imagination. So like we were just saying, Twilight Zone. Again with the concentric circles, very shamanic energy there with the drumming. But yeah, this is like you're on a new journey, and you've been on many journeys since, and you'll be on, I'm sure, however many journeys coming up. Because is time really the way we've been told? I don't even know, because there are certain schools of thought that think that, everything is happening right now. And that's that. Every single life you've ever had is happening right now. Parallel, not past, not future, but parallel. Yeah, so take with that with what you will. But let's see. Anything else Pam needs to know about this past life and how it can benefit her in this life? Gifts. I'm hearing gifts. Oh, and this person's singing. And we got a little songbird there. And I'm like, in that life, you didn't even need to communicate with words, but like you could, and we probably did because we were extra. And maybe you even sang. And again, with the drumming and maybe you sang and, used all your gifts, in so many ways. But I'm asking, what past life gifts, as I'm shuffling, and then what I did ask as well out loud, it's like there are numerous gifts, and all the hard work you put in lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, you still in some capacity have access to all of it. All of it. It's just about how do I unlock it? How do I tune into it? And if you go back, Pam, to our collective reading at the beginning of the live stream, well, I rambled on about the thoughts. No, you were here for the collective. You were here by then, I think. I'm pretty sure. Because we talked about the vision with the eagle and the sight and the knowledge and the secret gifts or hidden gifts in that card. Yeah, let's tune into that past life. But you definitely were someone who, oh, interesting. I just got a huge download of seeing Yona Yinton. You know who she is? She's here on YouTube. I almost said Facebook for some weird reason. Maybe she's on there too. It's spelled JONNA JINTON. Yona Yinton. She's in Sweden. But she does this like yodely kind of singing, and she records her lake freezing, like the ice, it like goes whoa, whoa, like shoots. She records the Northern Lights. I know some of you guys in the past, I've talked about her before. Absolutely stunning. Yona Yinton. Check out her YouTube, but just check out her singing specifically. I can't remember the one. Let me just Google but just listen to the way she sings, and I have a feeling that's very similar to the way you did it in this life. Yeah, I mean, I love to sing too, but I know I don't have the best voice ever, or like gonna be making any kind of recording contract anytime soon, but that still doesn't water down the enjoyment I get from doing it and the way it makes me feel. And I don't do it in front of a lot of people very much because it kind of embarrasses me, or I get a little embarrassed or shy. But I love, like, I'll belt it out in my car, no problem, no questions asked. I'll just belt it out, and I love it. It feels good. Specifically, this song, I think it's called "Hurt" by Christina Aguilera. I've been working on that one lately, just letting my pipes go with that one. It's fun. Let me see, Yona Yinton. Okay, and okay, so she's got a lot of songs here, but let me see. I think it was like a cattle. Like like a cattle call or something. But it almost sounds okay. So just to put it in perspective, I'm sure you've got kids. I'm sure you've seen, you know, Frozen and Frozen 2, when Elsa is like singing, or the singing is going on, you know, like ah, like that. I just completely off key, but you know what I'm saying. It's kind of like that type of singing that Yona Yinton does. Yeah, it's Kolning. I'm not gonna play it, you know, copyright reasons, but this one, Kolning, and I'm probably butchering the name of it. Ancient Swedish herding call. Yeah, it's so beautiful. It's like otherworldly, and I want to say she had one with her voice mixed with like earthy sounds, and she does like other kinds of like not like intricate instruments, but like something very simple. It's very cool though. Hi there, Ian. I'm a Life Path 7. Life Path 7. Yeah. Intuition tests. You know, I would, but that channel's pretty much shadow banned at this point. Yona Yinton. I typed it like 2 posts or 2 comments above where we're at. JONNAJINTON. Yona Yinton. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I even thought about doing intuition tests just live on here, just as something fun to kind of mix up my show a little bit. So I might do that. Thanks for the thoughts on that. That's cool. And the compliments. That's nice of you. But yeah, I love doing those, but they just get buried. No one ever sees them. Even the people who are subscribed were getting unsubscribed or not seeing my content over there. And it just got really disheartening. I just kind of, you know, the definition of insanity is, you know, doing the same thing and expecting a different result. So I just kind of stopped posting over there. I'm not saying forever, but at least for the time being, I'm still kind of, I don't know, just probably not going to do it anytime soon. But I will definitely think about doing something like that over here. I even thought of doing, because I mean, this is still along the lines of my intuition tests, but like, I have all these fun little, you know, like what's in here? Like, what do you think is in here? Just this little cat. My mother-in-law gave this to me years and years ago. She was just going to get rid of it. She's like, do you want this? I'm like, not really, but like, I guess. And then it's just been sitting. I think it's cute and it's fun, but like, what's in here? Oh, you kind of saw something. Maybe I don't know. Any guesses? Got a little crochet, it was for my planner, and I had it on a like one of these little things, and you could just kind of mark your page and it kind of hung out. You know, and a bunch of USBs and some keys. You know, I thought about doing, maybe this can be our fun little mystery box that we do fun little exercises, intuition tests. Well, technically Ian, and coming up, so don't go anywhere. We do an intuition test on this live stream every time I'm live when we do the giveaway. Because what I do when I do the giveaway is I shuffle the deck, pull a card, and then you use your intuition to decide what tarot card is hanging out in my hand right here. Of course, this is just an example, but we're going to be doing that here after, well, we've got Pam's. We're wrapping up Pam's. I've kind of digressed again. Go me. But yes, we've got finished Pam's, and then we have giveaway and a drawing. So you don't even have to be winning the giveaway to also then do the drawing. Yeah, we're lagging behind because I was very long-winded at the beginning. But let's closing statement on Pam's past life. Just anything else we can gather about that past life for Pam. Dragonfly Mermaid, you've attracted wonderful news. And she appears to be pregnant to me. So this is like opportunity and abundance, very Empress energy with this, but attracted wonderful news. For her past life, it's like you were someone who gave people like hope. Not that there was, yes, Pika-Lee, I have your donation. I have it right about here. But thanks for the reminder. I wasn't going to skip you, but I did want to check to make sure we didn't have any other donations before I did all that. But yes, you are next on the chopping block, and we're wrapping up Pam's reading. But yes, this is you. Okay, the vibration of the planet was a lot different back then. Let's put it that way. But still, even in that way that things were, life wasn't perfect. There were still a hardship or two here or there, but was nowhere near the absolute bombardment and level that it is here now. But you were someone who was very positive and gave, hope to people. And again, so we're circling back to the beginning. But yeah, great mystery and trust. I already pulled this card, put it away, pulled it again for you again. But was that from the past? No, it was from this one. Yeah, because we had the drum, we had the singing. Yeah. So again, you're on a journey. That life, this life, future lives. So much wisdom to be gained. And you might even be watching movies, specifically movies or shows that are set like, I don't know, like in more rugged places or in the past. And you just feel like this deep sense of knowing that you lived in times like that, or a similar situation that's going on in the show or movie. You once lived through that, even if it wasn't like way, way back ago. Maybe it was in the 40s or something. But you might even just get these like overwhelming like intuition or chills when you're watching certain things. And a lot of what is shown to us, I will say they probably do hide the truth in plain sight. That, a lot of lies are thrown out there too. So don't get me wrong on that. But like, I haven't watched this, but this is what's coming into my awareness is like Vikings. I think it's called Vikings. I haven't watched any of it. I don't know any characters. I don't know anything about it. But that's what I just saw in my mind's eye. I don't even know if that's what it's called. Let me look it up. Why do I always Google when it's your turn? I don't Google for anyone else except Pam. It's like, I need answers from Google. What's that Viking show called? Vikings. Wait. Okay. Weird, right? Okay. You can see, vet me out here. I typed in Vikings, as you can see. And see how I say they find me? Not this. Oh my God. Scroll. See, I can't escape the news. There it is. Talking about the bridge. There it is. So that has nothing to do. Was there a Viking on that ship? Was that a Viking ship? Oh my God, it was a Viking ship, you guys. Okay, I'm being silly at this point, but you know what I'm trying to say. I can't escape it. It's everywhere. Yeah, I think it is called Vikings. But there's something, I don't know if you've seen that, but there is something about that show. Ooh, so I guess this is just knowledge for everybody, general knowledge. They've hidden the truth of some of our history in that show. Even if that show is completely historically inaccurate per what we deem as history, even if it's fiction, again, I don't know if it's supposed to be based on reality or not, but there's something of the truth hidden in that. Now I'm going to have to watch it because I'm curious, guys. Has anyone seen that Viking show? I think it's just called Vikings. That's what I just looked up, and that's what came up. Well, that and the Viking ship that hit that bridge. Wow. We really time traveled, didn't we? Or maybe it was the ship that time traveled. I'm silly. I'm being in a silly mood now. Yes, I swear I can English tonight. You've watched a bit. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't even know how many seasons there are or what, but there's something of the truth of our history. Maybe not even from that era of history or that time frame, I guess is, I don't know, words are hard. So it's almost like take the Viking context off of it. Think of or watch what's going on with the characters. And maybe that is overlaid from some actual truthful part of history that has nothing to do with that era or time frame. Or location. Could have even been ancient Egypt for all we know. And specifically, I just heard ding, ding, ding. So there's something that actually happened during the times of ancient Egypt. I'm not saying that it was, whatever, but with what we consider ancient Egypt times, they're playing this storyline out in this Vikings show. Again, I have no idea what goes on in the show, who the characters are. I don't know anything from Adam. I don't. So there's a character named Adam. I swear to God, I didn't know that. That's the case because I just said the name Adam. I've watched a bit. It was a company from Norway. I've watched and loved a few seasons. Oh, okay. Interesting. All right. So hopefully that, yeah, there's, when we do readings for you, Pam, it's like I could just dive deeper and deeper and deeper and bridge gaps and just want to know all of it. So I guess we got to cut it off at some point though, right? Peek-a-lee! So we're going to do Peek-a-lee, then we're going to do the giveaway, and then the drawing, and then last call. Last call for readings. My kids are still talking in their room. Like they're still up, and Boston has school early, so I should probably maybe say last call now. Yeah. I could probably take one more donation, tops, because then I got to wrap up and get my kids to bed because they are not going on their own, and my husband I don't think is home yet, so. Ugh. You would think they'd just listen and go to bed and read and do what they're supposed to, but no. The 13-year-old, though, in Boston, I think he did go in his room. I did hear him moving around down there when Wrigley was up here, so at least he made it that far, but I don't hear them reading. I hear them hanging out together talking, which I guess is better than fighting, so yay, we've got that going for us. Okay. Clearing the energy, and we're actually going to go to the Herb Crafters Tarot. We have not used this one yet tonight for Peek-a-lee. So, tuning into Peek-a-lee's lovely, lovely energy. I recently talked to Scorpio and had a pleasant conversation with him. Shortly after that, Leo contacted me after months of not hearing back from him. He's moved back into town again, and both Scorpio and Leo have offered their support of me and my breakup with Taurus. Are their intentions genuine? Are there any ulterior motives? Yes, let's tune in. Okay. And I'm going to pull a card for each, from each of kind of those questions, and then, yeah. So, are their intentions genuine? Leo. Are their intentions genuine? Scorpio. And are there ulterior motives? Leo. Are there ulterior motives? Scorpio. All right. Oh, you've had a rough time with your 3-year-old today. I try to be grateful, but sometimes it's so hard. Right? Oh, I know. And last week was spring break, so we had a lot of time together, and that's great. But that's also not great for the two of them because they take time together and they just escalate any small situation and make it the biggest thing ever. Aw, he's been sick. Us too. Yeah, you know, it happens. And I notice though too, when I'm stressed out, it's both that they pick up my stress, both of them, and also the entities find a clear way in, because if I'm like cleansed and cleared and on point, nothing's getting to those boys. But when I'm distracted or I'm sick or hurt or tired or just worn down, Mama Bear isn't as prevalent, you know, in the energy field of my boys. So entities come in and cause them to fight over the dumbest stuff. Not to say they don't also choose to fight. They also do that. But I can tell the difference between just them having an argument amongst themselves or actually energetic entity interference. I can tell the difference. And when I know it's entity interference, it's weird because, you know, when it's just them, you know, I might yell like across the house, like, hey, can you two just stop it? And then when it's entity interference, I like go into protective mode. And I like physically move one of them from one room and then the other one to the other. And I literally separate them so they can't get at each other. Not that they're like fist fight, nothing like that, but just energetically, it's not good when they, you know, when there's entities interfering. And I would say probably the same for like romantic couples, the same for parent and children, same for, you know, even adult parent or adult children and their parents. And like, you know, sometimes when it's entities, to get like a clear, you know, ground on what's going on, you do need to separate yourself from the interference as much as you can to get your bearings, you know. And sometimes that's all it takes, is just you to feel back into your own power and the entity has to scoot. But usually you have to kind of take it a step further even than that. And it's, like I said, it's constant. And it's so much of our day can just be to combating whatever it is the Matrix is throwing at us. Like that in and of itself is a full-time job with overtime, and, you know, it's constant. No vacations, no weekends, no holidays. It's just on and popping. But anyway, going back to Pika-Lee's question. So let's tune in first to Scorpio. He's the first one you mentioned. So Scorpio's energy. What are his true intentions toward Pika-Lee? In alignment with her true spirit. Okay. So 5 of Fire and Temperance. Okay. So it's interesting because it's like there's an inner battle going on with him. Whether I flirt or, because to me, wand energy, specifically like Ace of Wands energy, is very flirty, very passionate. So it's almost like five of Wands is like conflict, kind of a bit of chaos. But yet this, I'm not seeing this directed at you, but it's almost like an internal chaos or conflict within himself to know how much to show up, how to show up as a balanced energy toward you, because he doesn't want to A, scare you off, or B, at the same time make you think he's coming on too strong or not strong enough. Like he wants to find a good balance, So it's kind of hard for him to know exactly how to say what he wants to say. So it's almost like he's kind of putting the ball in your court. So maybe, yes, he reached out first, but then, he asks a lot of questions about you rather than just sitting there divulging stuff about himself. That's kind of energetically what I'm seeing here. As far as his intentions go. Let's just see anything else about Scorpio's intentions. Shapeshifter with perspective. Again, he wants to know your point of view. And he may, much like Taurus, this is funny because we got a very similar information about Taurus, about how he kind of almost shapes to whatever it is you're talking about or concerned about, and then he will then divulge, once you hit a topic, what he would say to you. He wouldn't just say it himself, but it almost like you have to get it out of him. And it's kind of a similar energy with Scorpio, but it's like he does want to tell you, where Taurus just felt maybe wounded or traumatized from his past, to where he almost at times didn't feel safe to tell you, but then he would be in a vulnerable space and feel safe, and then he would tell you, and he wouldn't regret it. I don't mean it like that. But yeah, it's almost like Scorpio wants to share his perspective with you, but like he wants to know your perspective first so he doesn't like feel like an ass or like he's overstepped. It's a very respectful energy I'm getting from him. Let's put it that way. His intentions toward you are respectable and respectful, which is good. That's what we like. Now, let's see if there are any ulterior motives, and I am going to go to the Grunge Tarot for that part of Scorpio. For Scorpio, any ulterior motives toward Pika-Lee from Scorpio. Ace of Swords is a confirmed yes, but I'm not reading it as a yes. I'm seeing more of it being about getting clear, the clarity aspect of it. So ulterior motive might be that he's just, again, hiding part of his perspective until he knows your perspective. Then he will divulge his perspective, just like we were saying. So yes, technically there are ulterior motives here, but not in the way we think. Does that make sense? So this isn't a confirmed yes, like, yeah, he's wanting to stab you in the back. No. Again, it's just about how much truth do I divulge? Because again, this is the truth card as well. But it's also a confirmed yes. So we did get a yes. There are ulterior. Why can't I say that? There are ulterior motives, but again, not in the way we think. It's just, again, trying to save his own ego, I guess. I don't know. He did share more personal things with me that he never did before. Oh. So this just might be the playbook moving forward, is he kind of, again, it's not like he's got these motives. Like, I don't want it to sound like he does have those ulterior motives. But in an ego way, like he does care. So it's like he does, but he doesn't. I'm not making any sense. Let me see. What is this? What exactly is this? How can I best describe this to Pika-Lee? Yeah, wisdom as light as a feather with little Alwyn and Snake Princess, the serpentine path to power. Again, okay, so yes, this makes perfect. Yes. So both the snake and the owl are symbols of wisdom. There's more of a healing wisdom within the snake, but again, the serpent with the apple, I mean, there's a certain connotation here, right? But if you actually read, okay, here's the thing. So if you were to take the story of Eve and the apple and all that, and you take the Bible in and of itself, and instead of saying the word God when it says the word God, put an A in front of it. Say a God. Because if you read the New Testament versus the Old Testament, they're clearly talking about at least two different gods, not the same God. Because the very more loving, nurturing God that you see in the New Testament is a far cry from that sacrifice your children, I'm going to kill all these people God that you see in the Old Testament. So if the good guys are the bad guys and the bad guys are the good guys, you can almost see, again, inversion. There's a lot of inversion even in ancient texts. That maybe the snake was the spirit or the wisdom coming through to give the wisdom of the now, because, Adam and Eve came after the matrix was put over this place. So the snake, that inner wisdom, the healing coming in to peel away what doesn't belong here. Think of it that way. So it's almost like, again, I know this is major side tangent, but what I'm trying to say here is the 42 is a very divine number. So any intentions he has, it's not to pull one over on you or make you fall for him and then him get you all caught up and then leave. Like, no, none of that is going on. This is him just not wanting to come on too strong, wanting to give you, again, up with the balance. Not wanting to come on too strong, but not wanting to act the way he did before and just feel kind of almost nonchalant or cavalier about a connection, even if it's just his friends now. He wants to show you that he's grown, he's changed at least a little, if not more than a little, to be in a more balanced state. Makes sense. I asked him a question and his answer was cryptic until I clarified that I was asking him this question to get his genuine answer. There you go. That's exactly it. That's what I'm trying to say. Totally get you. Try not to come across too eager, especially since I just broke up with Taurus. But at the same time, he wants to be supportive as my friend. He wants to still. Yes, exactly. So you said what I tried to in way less words and way quicker. I love that. So you already know. You already feel this energy from him. So again, ulterior motives, yes, but only from this I don't want to mess this up perspective. Even if it's just to be friends or whatever, he doesn't want to mess it up the way he has in the past. All right, so he's at least making an effort to show up in a better form for you. So Leo, let's get into Mr. Leo. I missed his energy. Though he at times in the past been immature, he's still a very fun energy to read. And again, we're going to tune in and just see what you need to know. We're going to use this deck to tune into his intent. Are his intentions genuine? Leo. We have Justice, so balance, and then the Mother of Air. So this is the Queen of Swords. So he's telling it like it is. He's not hiding behind, let me feel you out first and then I'll say it, like Scorpio's doing. He's just saying it. But again, it's not an over-the-top way that the Queen of Swords, she can say things that just will make your jaw drop. But because the Justice came out to clarify, and with this card, I'm going to say there's a more balanced approach to the Queen of Swords energy, meaning he's still very quick-witted, very funny, a bit flashy with what he says, but not in an over-the-top kind of way. And maybe before he was over the top. And, at times he can be, I'm sure, but he's showing up more balanced. Just like we had the Temperance with Scorpio, more balance. And with Leo, Justice card, more balance. So they're both making an effort here. As far as his genuine intentions, yeah, he's here. He's genuine. As far as any ulterior motives with Leo, let's just see any ulterior motives with Leo. What does Picoli need to know that? In alignment with her highest good and true spirit. Any ulterior motives with Leo? Wheel of Fortune. So it's like, again, he has grown, he's evolved, he's changed. I mean, really, if you think about it, so many people have changed in the last, 2-3 years. So many people. Especially those that are, on a more, they want a better life for themselves and they're going to work on themselves. Those people are seeing level ups. The people who are just status quo, go with the flow. Not to say there's anything wrong with going with the flow, but people who don't think beyond, very surface level ideas, ideals, don't really work on themselves. They're just still in the same crap, different day. But the people who are actively working to better themselves, better their lives, better the world in some way, even just get healthier, happier, we're seeing strides with these people. You being one of them, Taurus being one of them in ways, he's working on it. Leo being one of them, Scorpio being one of them. Yes, we're doing the work. Some more than others, but hey, even a little bit helps right now. But he's closed out some sort of cycle or karma, or, between the two of you, there's been something closed out that doesn't need to continue. Doesn't mean that you can't be friends with him or anything, but whatever dynamic was between the two of you before, it's going to be different now. I want to, just for curiosity's sake, how is this going to be different moving forward for Leo and Peter Lee? The way things once were are now different. Interesting. It's like he's feeling left out in some way. Curious minds want to know how. Ten of Pentacles. I don't know if he recently lost a job, switched a job, changed a job, or maybe his bills have just increased. There's something with his stability and security that has shifted to where it's like he's showing up more evolved in one way, but in another way, he has had setbacks. So yes, there's been evolution, but in other ways, setbacks. But these have nothing to do, I don't think, with... I want to get a clarifier just to see if this is exactly regarded. Because here's the deal. We did ask specifically about your connection to him. Sorry, husband's calling. He's probably on his way home thinking I'm off the live stream, but I'm not. I did ask specifically about, you in this scenario. But, think of like Maslow's hierarchy of needs. If your basic needs and, necessities aren't taken care of, you can't focus on your creativity or your happiness. You're literally in survival mode. So it's almost like part of how he can relate to you is coming a bit from, I won't go as far to say survival mode because I don't see it like that exactly, but it's almost like something that he once had has been cut in half. But that being said, we pulled this one first. So this is kind of current energy, but it's like lower or less than where he was before, like materialistically or work-wise. Maybe even with his health, material world things could also involve health. Maybe he even downsized something or scaled back on spending on something because of reasons, whatever those are. We're not going to pry into his personal finances, but whatever it was he lost, he's going to gain back and then some. So if he has had any kind of setback, he'll be leapfrogging over where he once was into something even farther down the path in a good way. And that could then allow him to show up as a better friend, a better, whatever it is you're going to be in the future. But right now, he's kind of a bit in this energy. A little woe is me, a little feel sorry for myself, but he is still showing up and friendly and probably putting on a brave face in ways. He told me he recently went through some health issues and is recovering. There we go. Funny thing is, he used to talk to me about his heartbreak in the past, and now he's offering his support to me and about my regret. See, there you go. So there's, again, it's like he's balancing out, the wheel of karma from the past. So where you once did for me, now I'm going to do for you. And again, with the balance, with the justice. So there we go. There's that message. And yeah. So, if you feel like prying, but not, we won't call it prying, but if you feel curious, maybe you can just ask him, hey, how's things going with you? And most likely he will divulge the information if you want to know. Because we did have that Queen of Swords. She's not afraid to say stuff. She just maybe needs the right opening or to be, asked the question. She's maybe not going to just divulge that answer, but if you ask her, she'll sure do it. So yeah, maybe there just might be a little bit going on. Yeah, and it could have to do with his health. Maybe he already did open up to you about it. Since you were back and forth with your conversation, he may have already opened up about it, and that could be what that is, because Pentacles very much are tied to health. But let's just see anything else Peakley needs to know about Leo. It's a lot. Okay. So medicine, shield with protection. So I would say ding, ding, ding on the health. So he probably did open up to you about that. Ancestors with wisdom. There's another word about wisdom. We've gotten a lot of cards about wisdom. Very interesting. And then east with emergence. So yeah, his sun will shine again in ways that maybe he's never hit these heights yet in this life yet, but he's really going places in the material world. Probably both with his health. His health is going back to good. Making more money eventually. Things are looking up for him. Yeah, but he's kind of in this middle world energy right now of present, just kind of, allowing himself to heal under the healing rays of the sun, to get back to good again, and then he can really spring forward. I love that. I love that for him. Yes. Always had a pretty open communication. Yeah, I don't see him as someone. I see Scorpio more reserved, even back in the day, and maybe even now, but it's like Scorpio kind of more needs to make sure he knows where you stand on something before he puts his opinion in on something. Not to say he can't talk to you and, have opinions on things that don't matter, but things that he feels matter to you, he wants to know where you stand with something first before he just spills it all out. Whereas Leo doesn't have a problem saying where he stands on something, and then you say where you stand. Maybe if it's different, then there's a discussion, and it doesn't mean one's better than or worse than. Yeah. Interesting. But yeah, I think both of these guys are, genuinely caring people. At the very least, want what's best for you and want to be your friend. And at the very most, maybe want something more, Probably both still have, they know you're a good-looking woman with a great personality, and you're successful, and you're just got this just glow about you. They both know that. Come on now. Whether or not they try to make a move and in what timing, I guess, would remain to be seen. But I don't see that either of them, just because of what you're going through, are going to be any kind of disrespectful and try to make a move right now. I don't see that they will. Be out of respect for you, though. Out of respect. That's spot on about Scorpio. There you go. Yeah, I can feel it. And that is very stereotypical of a Scorpio. They like to hold those cards close to the chest, but Scorpio has a full chart that we're still reading the energy of his full being with just the name Scorpio, and then same with Leo. Leos are more flashy and out there, and I'll tell you what I think. I don't care. As long as I can put on a performance about it. I literally live in the lion's den. My husband's a Leo moon, and both of my boys are Leo rising or ascendant. So consider me lucky. No, I love Leo energy. I think it's so fun. So fun. And I even ran all their charts with the Fagan Bradley, more Babylonian astrology, and they're still in the Leo realms, all three of them. So the Babylonian astrology is only a little, I think it's a degree and a half, or not quite a degree and a half. Like a degree and point something behind what I was dealing with. But that's enough, at least in my chart, to put me back into being a Virgo ascendant rather than a Libra ascendant, because I was at 15 minutes, 0 degrees and 15 minutes of Libra, meaning I wasn't even a 1 degree Libra as an ascendant, but doing, and that was just in like Vedic sidereal astrology, but using the Fagan Bradley Ayanamsha of astrology, which was what they used in Babylonian times, and how this matrix, or the closest we can get to knowing the wheel of, the zodiac that this matrix runs on, it is that Fagan Bradley Ayanamsha. And boy, is it ever accurate. It's crazy. Yay, Leo rising. I know. I love me a good Leo rising. And it's so funny because so my sister's 3 kids are all born in August. And so trying to recall, as far as sun signs go, so Vedic Virgo, but I want to say, I can't remember, depending where they're at in August. Some of them are Vedic Virgos, or sorry, Vedic Leos. I don't know. I don't remember, but they're all Leo ascendants. all 3 of my sister's kids are also Leo ascendants. I don't know what my brother's stepson is, but I know his daughter Avery is a Virgo ascendant and a Gemini moon, just like her aunt Amanda. And it's funny because she looks just like my brother. And growing up, I didn't think I looked anything like my brother. But now that we're both older, I think I look a lot more like my brother than I look like my sister. And my niece Avery looks just like my brother. It's crazy. And my brother looks just like my dad, which even crazier. But I do also look a lot like my mom. So, like, I don't know. I want to say I look about 50-50. Yeah. And my mom and dad don't really look at all alike, so it's really weird how genetics work. And to this day, I can't see how my son Boston looks anything like me, except the dimple. He's got one dimple, just like me. That's it. All the rest, he doesn't even look like my husband. He looks like my husband's dad. Exactly. You compare his pictures when he was young to Boston, twins. Twins! All right. I don't know why I'm trying to do this, but there it is. Okay. We're going to do cards first. We're going to do the giveaway. So we're going to use the Grunge Tarot. Everybody who's here, we're going to wrap up. So here we go. My mom always say I look like the parent I'm standing next to. Sometimes my mom, sometimes my dad. Yeah, right? And it's funny because you can have the same features as, say, a dad, but have the exact expressions of the mom. And that can really confuse things because you look exactly like your dad, but when you make that face, oh my God, are you your mom? Or are you your aunt so-and-so? Or grandma, whoever. Like, it's funny how that is. It really is. Of my siblings, so my brother and sister both have my dad's side of the family's really like gummy smile. Like even when I just stand like this or sit like this, like you can almost not really see my upper teeth, but like my brother and sister, when they smile, like you see like all the gums up here. And like when I smile, like they're not even past my teeth yet. So like my lip like goes way down compared to theirs, I guess. I don't know. So when they smile, they both look like my dad. When I smile, I look just like my mom because she's got the same setup. So I don't know. But my mom and sister, I think, probably look more alike than me and my mom, and definitely my dad and my mom. They don't look much alike at all. I know genetics are so fun. That's why I love The Sims. I would make the two beautiful people, and I even created back in the day on The Sims 2, I created the beautiful people challenge to where you make the creepiest looking person you can make, and then you have to breed them with this, and the Grim Reaper, and try to get, by the end of the challenge, however many rounds, the prettiest looking person you can get. Again, I know, vanity, but it was fun. But yeah, I would make a really attractive person, you know, with these types of features, and then try to find the other side of that spectrum, really attractive person with these features, have those two breed, and see what we get. Like, it's so fun. Sims are fun. And then, of course, no one has to pay child support if they break up or anything, because it's The Sims, right? Who cares? It's for fun. Oh my gosh. That's where my story started. My series started as a Sims 2 series. Of course, if you read that and then you read my books, you'd be like, this is not even close to the same story, let alone the same characters, let alone the same anything, because that was absolute dumpster fire trash. But people ate it up so much. If I could get even a quarter of the readership that I got on that trashy soap opera, whatever that was that I wrote for The Sims 2 on my series, I'd be rolling in the dough, because I don't know what it was, but that series took off on that website. I still can't. There was nothing great about it. It was actually, I had written everything in first draft and just posted it. Typos galore. So many just drama and trauma and craziness. And yes, my series has a lot of drama and trauma and craziness, but like in a more structured way. Oh, they sure do love a good story, right? All right. Oh, you've done the same with Harry Potter. There you go. Isn't it fun? Oh, so fun. At one point, the first story in the series, and I think I made it to 17 parts in the story, but part 1 had 2.4 million readers. I don't know how many like the last parts of it did, but if I could have those numbers now, wow. Of course, it was free, and most of these people were probably children at the time, but, like, I know, back in the day when nothing was monetized and you could put your stuff out there and then you actually got views on it, uncensored? That was fun. I had my glory days back in 2005 on the internet, before anything was monetizable. Is that a word? Yeah. Oh, random fanfic when I was 13-ish. Probably 100 people saw it. Aw. It's still fun though, right? It's like, I don't know, I'm sure fanfic existed back then, but I didn't know about it. And I know, like, my characters weren't like fanfic of anything, but I did read me many, what we would now consider fanfic on The Sims. People making, and this was even before the days of Twilight. So we're talking 2005, 2004, late 2004 when it first came out. But Story Exchange really got the gas going behind it, 2005, 2006. And by 2008, I was so burned out on it, and I was just done. But it took me a while to get all those 16, 17, 18 parts, however many parts of that I did get out. Of course, they deleted the whole website, so you can't even go find it anywhere. It's scrubbed from the internet. I don't know, maybe if you use that, what's it called, like the Wayback Machine? I don't even know if you could find it then. Yeah, Sims 2 is still my favorite too. So many memories. Yeah, oh my gosh. I think my legacy challenge is still up somewhere. I did read that probably, I don't know, 5, 6 years ago. I found someone had archived it somewhere, and even the pictures were there. I was like, oh, this is fun. And then I had the ultimate challenge. It was a challenge that, the ultimate journey challenge, a challenge me and this other friend of mine that ran Amanda Kiefer's Sims 2 group. Sims 2. I don't even know. It was like on pro boards. You remember those message boards back in the day? I had a really big Sims 2 group. Oh my gosh, so fun. Back in 2005 through 2008. Oh, I could just talk and talk and talk about The Sims. Oh my gosh, that was my personality back from 2005 to 2008. Oh gosh, I miss those days. But yet again, I don't. I lived, ate and breathed college and Sims 2, college and Sims 2, college and Sims 2. And many of my projects were Sims 2 projects, which are somewhere on the old YouTube machine. If you want to go watch them. If you type in Amanda Kiefer Dunn, or no, wait, maybe it's just Amanda Kiefer. Yeah, because I wasn't married back then. Yeah, Keefer. It's a little cartoon balloon, as the like hot air balloon, and like a cartoon scene as my profile pic. And I long ago lost the password to that account. That was before you had to have like a Google account. That's when you could just create a username and log in. And I don't know how to log into that, so it's lost to me. My loss is the internet's gain, I guess. I don't know. All right, but yeah, I'm still proud of some of those animations I created, but that's neither here nor there. All right, here we go. Here we go. We're gonna do our giveaway, and then I'm gonna go. Well, giveaway and our drawing, and then I'm gonna go. All right, here we go. And let me just double check that no one else had sent a donation, because I'm not leaving anyone hanging. Okay, good. We're caught up. We're all caught up. Okay, here we go. What is the card I'm holding? What is this card? What is this card? And of course, if we're not getting it, we will narrow it down, I guess when you come to this live stream, you just never know what we're going to talk about eventually. Yeah. But there we go with the autistic special interests. From 2005 to 2008, I was going strong on Sims 2. Got into Sims 3 a little bit on a different channel, and I actually had one of those videos kind of blow up because I was trying to troubleshoot how to make that game work on my computer. And I tried to make, this was before like YouTube was really a thing even, that people would go to all the time. It was fun. But I think I quit my journey after 4 or 5 videos on that. But they're still there somewhere if you can find them. On a different channel, though, than my other Sims 2 stuff. They're out there in YouTube land. Okay, let's narrow it down. We are in the Pentacles range. Pentacles, it's a Pentacle card. Let me just make sure no one got it, because wouldn't that be something? Okay, So we have Sun, Queen of Wands, Magician, Page of Wands, King of Swords, Star, Five of Wands, Three of Swords, Hermit, Queen of Wands, Six of Pentacles, Wheel, Queen of, okay, I don't see it yet. Okay. All right. Let's see. I love the Mad Dash. Pika-Lee, you have won. Pika-Lee. And this came out in Leos. Leos are part of the reading. There it is. Pika-Lee, go ahead and post a question for yourself. And while you do that, we're going to write out everybody who wants a card tonight. Okay, sorry, not everyone wants a card. That was me misspeaking. Everybody who wants in on the drawing, let's put a 999. We got 9 people here right now. That's quite a few for this late in the game tonight. Okay, so all 9 people here, let me know that you want to be in on this drawing, and I will write your name down. We have Jamie Wilson. It keeps skipping out or moving, and then it looks like Jamie Wilson because my paper moved. Okay, Jamie into bag. Pika-Lee. Dropping my pen. I can still hear my kids down there. Oh my gosh. But I'm pretty sure my husband's home. He did call, but like, yeah, I'm live, and he knows that. So if he calls and I don't answer, he knows I'm live. Brandy Lynn. It's still moving. I get a better grip on the pencil or the pen. If I could just clear my throat all the way, I'd be a happy camper, but nope. The phlegm is holding it hostage. It's not fun. John, let's get John entered. I think the only time we have drawn you, if we have, you were here. I don't recall drawing you at any point when you weren't. So there must be a lot of Jamie Wilsons in that bag. John, let's get John entered. And Banana Anna S. Okay, so there's proof. We've got you 2 lovely people ready to enter into the bag. There we go. Okay. Here we go. Who's the winner? And then, of course, Pika-Lee, go ahead and post your question. We'll get right into it. And then tonight's winner is, who is it? Amber A. She's won a few times. I do know that. I don't think she's here tonight, though, but she hopefully will be pleasantly surprised next time she pops on. She won the drawing. I almost want to call a giveaway and then give away the drawing. I don't know why I do that. I had to really think about it there for a second. Okay. Pika-Lee. Go ahead and ask your question. We're going to get into it for you. Flipping my hair. It's come to that time of the night where my hair is just driving me up the wall and I'm ready to put it back for the night. Anyone else get to that point? It's almost the equivalent, the lady equivalent of taking the bra off at the end of the night. For me, it's also putting the hair off my face and just, you know, sensory overload after a while. All right. I love you guys. I must go have fun. Oh, you have fun as well. Hope to see you Friday or whenever you're on next. All right, here we go. So, Pika-Lee, go ahead and post a question. We're going to get right into it for you, unless you say something up here already and I'm just missing out. I did bury anything above because I asked you guys to guess the tarot card, so that'll do it. No, I didn't bury it because we did that after that. See, I'm getting tired. I'm misremembering and not doing things in the right order now. So there's a man in the park that I sometimes walk with. He's older than me and is a doctor. He's been expressing interest in me for a while, but I'm just taking things slow. Any insight if I should give him a chance or continue to keep him as a friend? All right, let's tune in. And I know we use this. So it's interesting. We've got 2 people walking together here. One's slightly ahead of the other. They kind of both look older. I don't know. I just try to gain any wisdom or knowledge I can from the card. But really, this is a card about feeling left out or feeling like someone missed the boat, missed the mark on something. I'm reading this more as his energy. And it's funny because we did get this card for Leo. So I don't know if this guy also has Leo in his chart. You know, even if it's Venus is in Leo or something like that, it could be. Oh, Amber's name fell down, and I don't want to forget that. So don't let me forget Amber's drawing win, guys. If I do, don't let me. All right, let's tune in to this older man at the park. That sometimes walks with Pika Lee. That's a doctor. Taking things slow. Any insight if she should give him a chance or continue to see him as a friend? Okay. 2 of Wands and the 4 of Cups. Okay. So this person dropped the card. Okay. So it's interesting because it was this way, and then when it fell, I picked it up and it was this way. So, you know, 4 of Cups is normally there's something about the situation we can't see or an opportunity that's wanting to be presented to us that we just can't quite see it. And this is a more meditative or contemplative version of the traditional 4 of Cups that we might see. And when the 4 of Cups, 4 of Pentacles, 2 of Swords, when these types of cards come out, I like to always pull a clarifier to see like what realm of potential is here. But we also have the 2 of Wands. This is about, you know, you're not having to make a move. This is about kind of getting strategy in place before you input the chess pieces on the board. So that's kind of the vibe I'm getting here is you don't have to come to any kind of conclusion or decision, because if it's not a hell yes right now, then it's just kind of a let's just see. You know, if there's not something that's really pulling him or you in his direction or him in your direction, then I would say it's fine to just see where things go right now. But I am going to pull a clarifier on this 4 of Cups because there's something here you're not seeing. And I don't see that it's like, ooh, nefarious energy from this guy or anything like that. There's just something about the situation that's not making sense, or a puzzle piece that's just not in place yet. And let's just see if we can get any wisdom on that. 10 of Pentacles. So I don't know if he has kids or there's something about maybe even the way he grew up. He's maybe a bit old-fashioned with maybe like courtship or dating or something like that. Like he wants to be respectful. Like I'm getting that vibe as well. But there's definitely like a good, like he's got a lot of security and stability, and not just because of his, you know, fact he's a doctor. But I think his family like set him up very well. Yeah, he is old-fashioned. Yeah. So either this is, you know, him being the adult child, you know, in this scenario, rather than him being the one to have kids. This really does feel like, you know, him being very financially responsible, very not like stingy with money, but he has to have a good reason to spend a big chunk of money. Like, you know, little things, it's not a big deal, but like even when he's like shopping like different, you know, internet providers or something, like he's weighing pros and cons. He's very analytical, very smart with like, okay, not just ooh, what's going to give me the best deal now, but like in the long term, which one of these internet service providers is going to serve me the best and be the most economical? Like he's very good at all of that. But let's just see, as far as anything you need to know about coming more together. Been very respectful, has been generous with his offers. He wanted to fly me out to meet a good friend of his that's like family to him. Oh, that is so cool. And see, the fact that he's thinking of something that would probably cost a decent amount and he's offering that to you, that's really cool. Yeah, he sees that queen that you are. He sees that queen that you are, that we all know you are. Look at that. Yeah, he doesn't want to overstep, but at the same time wants to be respectful, but at the same time like is giving gestures in your, you know, direction. So I think at this point we can definitely surmise that he most likely feels more romantically attracted to you than maybe you do toward him at this point. But, you know, that could change. But there's definitely chemistry here, and he definitely feels attraction toward you. Respectful attraction. It's not like he's just like leering at you or anything like that. It's very, very respectable. And it's funny because we've been getting that word a lot tonight with you and, Leo respecting you, Scorpio respecting you. And I know a lot, like, even when you were first thinking about going out or had just met Scorpio or had just started kind of hanging out with Scorpio, we were kind of tuning in that, he should respect you more because he's making these excuses, he's working all the time, or he's not reaching out, or, that was kind of the opposite of what we're talking about now. So it's like you've leveled up so much that you demand nothing less than someone's full respect toward you, or you're not going to entertain their energy at all, which is really, I love that. I love that. It's so good. Yeah, he's been respect. Okay, I said that part. He told his friend that he believes he met his match in the girl in the park. He definitely made it known that he is tracked. Yeah. And then 3 of Cups. So it's like there's some sort of celebration. I don't know if there's some sort of wedding or gathering, get together of some sort, and it's not just, oh, let me just randomly fly you up to meet my friend. Maybe there eventually will be some sort of event, gathering, anniversary, party. I just heard premiere. I don't know if he's going to like premieres of something. I don't know. But yeah, there's something celebratory here. And this does feel like soul connection. So there is a soulmate kind of energy between the two of you, or I've known you before kind of energy, of course, that we can feel when we meet someone who's a soulmate. And at this point, you guys, I'm literally at the point where I think we have hundreds, if not thousands, of soulmates incarnated with us every lifetime. Like there's so many in so many of our lives that I tune into so many people in my life, even people that I'm like, ew, I don't want that person to be a soulmate, but like they are, like, ew, but like they are. So many soulmates. So like, it's not a rare thing to find a soulmate, romantic or friend or family member. They're crawling all over the place, and we're crawling all over in their energy too. Like we're just, doing the same thing, maybe different things with the same people time after time after time. But as far as, your intention toward him, or just best advice for you toward him, because I think we really tuned into what his intentions are toward you. Now let's tune into you toward him. Present, middle world. So kind of be, play devil's advocate as far as not feeling like you have to do certain things because, well, it looks good, it feels good, so maybe I should just take the leap. Just play it by ear, moment to moment, day to day, week to week. If things shift next week and you're really feeling the vibe, maybe go out on a date or, whatever it is. But there's no rush here. Again, this horse is kind of just, and this came out in your other reading for Leo, I think it was. This horse is just kind of basking in the energy, but there's something almost, I don't want to say lethargic about this horse, but he's not, in full gallop or, wild and free, unbridled, running along the rolling hills. He's just kind of stationary. He doesn't feel like he has to be anywhere other than where he is right now. There is this kind of healing element coming in with this horse as well. So I don't know if this is just healing or just kind of allowing some space between you and Taurus, or, the evaporation of that connection for now to just kind of, do its thing for a minute before you do, entertain a new idea of being with someone else. Because, especially with Taurus or, Leo or any of them, it's like, even when you were with him and things were as serious as they were, there was still probably times where you thought of a future where maybe you did get married, maybe you did have kids. And it's almost like when that broke up, there's a, I don't know if grieving is the right word, but there's some sort of, at the very least, just respect or reverence for the loss of those timelines or those projected futures for yourself, Anything else Piccoli needs to know about her? Let's move forward toward the guy in the park. Oh, we have water with lifeblood. So I don't know, as far as a doctor, if he deals with blood or something with the blood. But it's interesting, too, with the Ten of Pentacles. This is like the, blood, inheritance, generational energy. I'll get a clarifier on this blood card, lifeblood. But it's almost like we're seeing your best path forward. To me, this feels like you are going to be the driving force if this becomes a thing or not. It's going to be up to you. That's what I'm thinking I'm getting with this lifeblood. Yes, but I'm going to still get a clarifier just to see anything else you need to know as far as your best path forward with this connection. Okay, so island detachment. This does not mean you have to be detached and never get together with this guy. What I see with this is just for the time being, just being in your energy, also being in his energy, but it's almost like two coming together and not making that fuse yet. Not yet, anyway. Not yet. So, yes, still continue your walk. Still do whatever's intuitively feeling good for you toward this doctor. Closing statements, closing arguments, anything in Pika Lee's best interest. What does she need to know? Advice, wisdom, guidance moving forward. We have ritual with invocation. Ooh, very cool. So, yeah, it's almost like whatever intentions you're setting, whatever you're invoking, you're going to make that a reality, whatever it is, whether you want to be friends with this person, whether you want to, marry this person eventually. Like, again, you're the lifeblood. But it's almost like you are like detached. And detached sounds like such a cold word, but really it just means that you have no like massive, what's the word? Like, I'm trying to find the right word. I'm really seeing this as the opposite of codependent. Again, words are so hard for me tonight. I don't know why. So it's almost like you're independent and just willing to continue to be independent and just see where things evolve without feeling like you're being like drug around by your like desire or lust or just, more ego driven reasons to get together with somebody. This is about you just feeling into whatever's right for yourself in any given moment. And when that shifts or changes, you can make those changes accordingly. So again, this reading really is putting ball in your court. We have this card again, and I always forget what this says or means. So forgive me. But yeah, this was the beginning. This could be the beginning. Get the number 1 here of something really new and beautiful. I know I have the box to this deck somewhere close, so I'm going to read this card because I think this is the 3rd time now on the live streams in recent months, months that I pulled this card and forgot what it meant. So Hebrew word ruach concisely and precisely describes how the spirit of air makes itself known to us. Ruach has more than one meaning and is interpreted as either breath, wind, spirit, or Holy Spirit, holy breath. Similar to spirit, you don't really see air, yet you become aware of it. So it's like, I don't know, it's like you're becoming aware. So if the dynamic shifts between the two of you and you're really becoming aware of a connection or an attraction, then I would say start to maybe move forward in a deeper way with this guy. But if that time never comes, or, you're content, at least for the time being, to just kind of stay status quo, then that's okay too. And if things do change and shift, or you do realize eventually that, yeah, this will just never become a big thing because maybe I don't feel quite the same way you do, that's okay, and you'll know it when you know it. But for now, I don't see that there's any real push or emergency that you need to figure it out, have it all figured out, So just allow yourself to have fun, enjoy each other's company. If things evolve, shift, change in whatever way, then they do, and you'll know what to do in that regard. So yeah, taking your time to get to know him. Yeah, I like that. And I'm sure he can appreciate that because he does have a great deal of respect. That's a massive amount of respect that he's placed upon you. Yeah, I really like his energy as far as him being very respectful. And I don't know that that's just maybe the way he was raised, or that comes with, him being older and just knowing better than maybe younger guys do. I don't know. I think here's the thing with guys specifically, or women, or whoever it is, there's this sense of integrity that does start with someone from being very young and follows them through life. So someone, and I'm not saying that someone can't start with a very low level of integrity and gain integrity, because I have seen that happen. But usually when you start with a great level of integrity, you carry that with you rather than, you know, the other way around where maybe you start with almost none and then you gain it. Like that can happen, but it's rare. You can also start with it and lose it, but I'm seeing that he started with a great level of integrity and he's carrying that on and maybe even growing it or expanding it as he, you know, gains more wisdom over his years. So yeah, very cool. Very accurate. I'm just taking my time to get to know him better. So true. Yeah, I love that. So thanks again, Peekali, for your donation. And of course, winning the giveaway. That was awesome. I'm congratulating you on that. And now we're going to do our drawing winner. So Amber A, I'm going to write this timestamp down. Okay, so 3/24/30. Amber A, you've won the giveaway. Amber A has won the giveaway. All right, so let's pull. We're going to do one card from this deck and then one from this tarot deck as well. Okay. Anything for Amber A? What does Amber A need to know? All right, Awakening with In Bulk, and I never know if I'm saying that correctly, but there it is. Awakening. Beautiful purple energies with some yellow, which are, I do believe, exact opposites or complementary colors on the color wheel. Might be some power colors for you. But there's something you're blossoming or blooming or awakening into, which I love. For you, that's awesome. So let's see. Ooh, 9 of Cups. So there's wish fulfillment, recognition, reward. You're just feeling yourself. You're feeling good. You're feeling like, and again, maybe this awakening, this blooming, this blossoming is like literal, like with your energy. Maybe you're doing something with your hair, your wardrobe, your skin that you feel like you're glowing. You're really looking good. You're feeling good. If this is not you yet, or this energy doesn't feel like it's anywhere near you, it is definitely very close or near and dear, very, very nearby. So if you've been feeling a certain type of way and this is not where you're at yet, this is where you're headed. So, but if you're already kind of starting to feel this, and I know we're coming into some retrograde coming up and we've got this eclipse popping off and things are crazy out there right now. But it's almost like you're on like a whole other timeline where things just aren't as crazy for you or as just out there. I just want to get one more. Anything else Amber needs to know? Amber A. You know, I'm with her true spirit. 2 of Pentacles. Okay, so it's like you're being able to balance all the different things. So things might really start getting busy for you. Or if things are busy right now, yeah, this is more what I'm seeing. If things are really busy or just overwhelming right now, even if you don't feel busy, but you're just feeling overwhelmed, again, that's about to shift. This feels like a slower, more stop and smell the flowers, stop and smell the roses kind of energy that you're coming into. I mean, she's literally stopping and just kind of basking in the glory of feeling a level up, a glow up, just feeling really good. So if things have felt very busy, yes, balance your life, you know, do what you need to do, but also make sure you're taking time to just bask and stopping and smelling the roses and all the fun things. So there's your message, Amber A. All right, so that will do it for tonight's live stream. Seeing we're at it's 9:27 here. I can still hear those kids talking. They have to be up at 5:45, so I'm gonna go get those kids to bed. You all have a wonderful, lovely evening. I will be back here on Friday at 11 a.m. Mountain Time, and we are getting to the point in the year now. We're almost into April, and when the baseball games start, I'm not sure what point in April. I know practice may happen for a week or two before games officially start, but once games are rolling, we're going to have probably 4 games a night. Sorry, not a night. Wow, that's a lot. 4 games a week. Sometimes both boys have a game on the same night, so it might only be 2 nights a week that we've got baseball. Other weeks, which I do prefer because then I get to see everybody's game, but when they have games on the same night at the same time, I have to miss Wrigley's game. Ryan, my husband, has to be with Wrigley because he's coaching the team, and then I couldn't just in good conscience leave Boston with no parental observer to cheer him on. So when Wrigley has a game, and if it's at the same complex, that's cool because then I can kind of jet between games, but it's a lot of work. So I do prefer when we do have baseball 4 nights a week so that I can see all the games. But that means that live streams Wednesday nights, games start at 6, but we usually have to be there around 4:30 for practice warm-ups, all the fun things. And then we're not usually home till 8:30 or 9 o'clock. So nights are busy on baseball nights. So we are going to be busy. Even if we do have a Wednesday here or there where I don't have baseball, or we have the night off, I will probably take the night off because it's grueling. It's grueling out here for when you got all this going on. So, and just to be consistent with schedule, we're going to put the Wednesday show, same time frame as the Friday show, 11 a.m. Mountain Time. And that'll be the consistent schedule through April, whenever it starts. So starting whenever it starts through April, all the way through May, and usually about the second, maybe even into the third week of June is when I then put Wednesday back to the regular scheduled time of 6 p.m. Mountain Time. So for the near future, I would say probably next week we're still good at 6 p.m., but then after that, we're going to be moving. Or maybe even a week or two after that, we're going to be moving. But I'll let you guys know on a community post, community tab. But I'll also announce it at the beginning of, whatever relevant live stream that we're going to be moving into the new schedule. I'll keep it toward the beginning so that it'll be easy to find for those that can't make every live stream or just kind of want to know. And I try to remember, but sometimes I forget, to update my banner on my main page. It'll reflect my schedule. So it'll be, right now I think it says, I can't, don't quote me on that. Oh, I'm not logged in on over here, so I don't know. I think on the banner it has my schedule. It should, it's supposed to, but let me look. I think it has my current schedule, Wednesday 6 p.m. and Friday 11 a.m. But regardless if it's correct now or not, for some reason my tabs aren't loading, so I don't know. It's like, man, it's down even though I'm live right now. It can't be down. But it's not loading, so I don't know. Anyway. Oh, and now I don't see myself on here. Oh, now I do. It went to a black screen for a second. Did that do that for you guys? Weird. I don't know. I'm rambling though, so I'm going to go. But yes, I will update my banner when the time comes and if I remember. So I love you guys. Thanks again so much for all those likes, comments, shares, subscribes, donations, and all the things. And I really, truly do hope to see each and every one of you right back here at Hungry Portal Tarot Live. All right, you guys, have a lovely, blessed